Dawn Keane.
Brett Keane's wife.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keane from Games You Love. I wanted to point out something to everyone out there who has ever used my content or my videos. It's important because I don't want you to have any kind of trouble with your YouTube channels or get any kind of strikes. This is a warning for you right now. There was a lot of black kids there. When you get knocked down, it's not me doing it. It's the companies that I'm licensed through. There was a lot of black kids there.
I want to thank Fine Brothers.
I was very small starting out. There was a lot of black kids there.
You are about to experience the Drunken Peasants podcast, the greatest podcast in human history. Please recognize that this podcast is designed to be amusing and entertaining, and thus we engage in satirical comments, exaggerations, and even dirty jokes. If you are offended by such things, please go away and die. If you enjoy this podcast, we ask that you help to support its existence by contributing to our Patreon at patreon.com/DP. Contributors get regular access to monthly private shows, special commentaries, Google Hangouts with the peasants, and more. If you don't want to do that, you can also support the show by visiting audibletrial.com/Drunken Peasants to get a free audiobook and access to over 150,000 audiobook titles, including great selections on science and skepticism. And if you shop on Amazon.com, we strongly urge you to use one of the Amazon affiliate links in the description section of our videos. You can help support the show simply by using our link to buy things you were going to buy anyway. Now that we've got all that shit out of the way, sit back and enjoy the show.
Live from the frigid armpit of America, this is the Drunken Peasants Podcast with Ben and TJ, bringing you opinions of the news from an altered perspective.
Fuck it! Hey man, you got a joint? No, not on me, man.
I don't have facts to back this up.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
What the fuck you talking about, atheist?
It's okay. You're nothing, TJ. You're garbage.
I just want to be liked.
You're garbage.
And now, here are your hosts, Ben and TJ.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live. Fuck it.
And Scotty.
Do it live. Fucking thing sucks.
Anywhere, Ben. Where is he?
He was on the screen. Hi everyone, this is the Drunken Peasants Podcast, episode 205.
Smoke weed every day.
You just shook your head. It's not 205?
No.
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. Not 205, though. I know that much. Hey, I'm drinking Gatorade. Drink Gatorade, America.
The Drunken Peasants brought to you by Gatorade.
And I guess the rest of the world, too, if you got it. I don't know if it's everywhere. Whatever.
It's only in America. The only country that fucking matters.
Yeah. You guys always get pissed at me when we were in Europe, and every time there was like a Subway or something, I was like, let's go to that Subway. You're like,
yeah.
Because you're fucking stupid.
Because I want to see what fucking Subway is like in another country, man.
It's Subway.
No, it's different.
Okay, it's different, but like very little.
Different in subtle ways. The nuance is the spice of life, Scotty.
Okay, there's no point in going.
Experience something
There's
new.
no point in.
Yeah, that's why I'm in fucking Europe, you idiot. Or that's why I was there. Exactly. Thank you.
Experience a new kind of Subway. Experience a new kind of McDonald's.
We experienced a new kind of Burger King with, was it? No, I want to say rats, but it was mice in there.
Yeah, it was mice in the burger.
Yeah.
We still ate there. We didn't care. We're just like, yeah, whatever.
I cared, but
we were hungry
not
and it
enough
was really
to not eat.
Yeah.
Because we were starving.
I figured it's the Netherlands. They're just going to be mice, whatever. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's all fucking bad for you
Probably
anyways.
does, you know, because I noticed there was like no other people in there, you know.
I mean,
It was a pretty
just some
strange
mice,
time of
dude.
night.
No, there were other people in there, but it had 2 floors, and we were on the upper floor, and there was a bunch of people downstairs.
There was that one crazy dude in there.
Yeah. Oh, that was
That was
insane.
horrible.
All right, so it's time to bring Paul Zigo in.
The ego of Paul.
Yeah. Answer the phone, Paul.
Answer your telephone.
Fucking faggot bitch.
Paul,
What do you want?
answer your telephone.
What the fuck do you guys want, man?
Drugs.
Yeah, we want some
Oh, okay.
drugs. You got any
I can get you
speed?
that.
I got
I
the
can get you
need
that.
for speed. All right,
can
how
do that.
much? How much we talking here?
How much speed do you need?
I don't know, man.
A lot.
I want like, can you give me a bunch of Adderall pills? That'd be pretty good. Just want a shitload of Adderall, dude.
Actually, I can't get shit. I don't know anybody here. I'm stuck about 1.5 miles underground underneath a nondescript building somewhere in the United States. So
Just take out a Craigslist ad for study aids, TJ. Just say you're looking for study aids.
Looking for some study aids, so I can study.
Damn, Ben knows what's what.
Ben's like, yeah,
I'm just gonna drop that in there. Ben's all like, "Oh, just do this." I mean, I've heard that people do
Yeah,
this.
I've heard that happen.
Every once in a while, you know.
yeah, I need to take out a Craigslist ad here where I'm at for like herbal refreshments or something.
Yeah.
Need
looking for
herbal
some-
refreshment.
I could send you some Earl Grey tea.
Some ginseng tea would be nice, or some sleepy time tea even. I
Yeah,
can give
I'll-
it that shit.
I can send you some chamomile or something. I don't know.
You should try a nice coffee enema, Paul.
I've heard that actually is horrifying.
Yeah.
Well, you're pouring coffee up your ass. I mean, I've done it recreationally, of course. So you know.
I mean, I'm pouring
I'll just.
this horrible wine cooler type wine down my throat, so I may as well put coffee up my asshole.
Bottle of gas station for $7.
It's like one step away from box wine. Or
Pretty
is it
much.
below?
Yeah.
See,
It
I
actually
think-
might be below. It's Arbor Mist, so
Oh,
that's pretty
God.
bad.
Yeah, you might as well just drink like perfume or something.
At least it didn't pop on with like Steel Reserve or
Might as well
something.
drink perfume. How about some Listerine?
Yeah, you can drink Listerine.
I think
I mean,
Steel
like-
Reserve. I think Steel Reserve would be manlier, Scotty.
Steel Reserve is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. It would be manlier, but it's disgusting. Come on.
Is it manlier because you have to be like some fucking stupid testosterone-addled man to even like think that was something to drink? Like, I'm so manly, I don't care what nothing tastes like. Glug, glug,
Yeah.
glug, glug.
You gotta
Yeah.
be the type of guy that just walks into like a liquor store and you're like, give me your worst, most disgusting rot gut. I want to get fucked up and I want to feel like shit tomorrow too.
Fucking swigs a can of Steel Reserve, and then puts his cigarette out on his hand.
Dude, that's like fucking malt liquor is what Paul's talking about. Like the cheapest malt
Dude,
liquor in
King
like a 40.
Cobra.
Yeah, fucking yeah, in a 40. Yeah.
King Cobra Malt Liquor.
Dude, I remember there was this really annoying time in my YouTube career where there was this guy that was like constantly challenging me to a 40 chugging contest. And I'm like, you know,
Gross.
I'm not from the hood. I don't really want to chug a 40.
Yeah, dude, it would fill up your stomach so bad.
Yeah,
you know?
and I mean, I've done it once because I was curious, like, what is it like to drink a 40? And I drank it, and I was like, you know what? I'm never doing this again.
Have you ever done a beer bong before?
No.
Oh man, oh, you could handle one of those because I can handle it.
Sure, I could do
Well,
it.
you know what
I've drank a
ghetto
fucking
version
shitload
of,
of beer.
The ghetto version of a beer bong is what we used to do because we never had a beer bong, but we'd shotgun a beer. I'm sure you've done that,
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I did I shotgunned 3 beers in a row once and
Fuck
just
that.
just projectile vomited Budweiser. Like it just immediately after the 3rd beer, I was just like open my mouth and Budweiser.
I just got the
flew
best
out.
idea.
You got an idea?
Yeah, I just got the best idea.
What is your idea? Ben?
What?
Like
maybe on the next private show we could do beer bongs. Or I'll go get the fucking beer bong. We could do another one of the like Audible trial things for beer bongs.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Something like that.
I've never done it, so I don't even know what I'm agreeing to. But
It's
Oh,
I
dude, you're
mean,
gonna get drunk as shit, dude.
basically the force of gravity causes you to drink a whole beer in like 10 seconds.
Neat.
I'm telling you though, if you don't know how to like open your throat and accept the beer, you just spew. Like it just comes out of your nose and shit. Because it's got to go somewhere. Like the gravity pushes it down your throat, and if you're not letting it down your throat, it's coming out somewhere else.
I've never had any trouble with it. I mean, like I have thrown up from it before, but it's weird when the beer.
That sounds like trouble.
No, I've never had any trouble drinking at all. It's just like, maybe a few minutes later I may have thrown it up because I drank, so much foam. And back then it was Budweiser and shit.
You guys go back to talking about shotgunning beers because I was going to try to work a Kurt Cobain joke in there.
No, thanks. We don't want to hear your stupid joke.
All right, well. No, I mean, that pretty much was it.
He's dead, TJ. Just get over it.
I was just going to reference his name in...
your jokes are so relevant, TJ.
I know, right?
So relevant to the time.
Well, he's still the most famous shotgun wound recipient.
I guess so.
I would have helped you out, TJ, but during the last private show, you shat on one of my highbrow jokes, and ever since then, our bro chemistry is down.
Oh, damn.
How many points?
You didn't laugh, and then you were like, yeah, whatever dumb highbrow joke Paul just told, I agree with that. I was like,
oh,
fuck.
okay, yeah, like the book joke you made. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was.
What was it? What happened? What was the joke?
I don't even remember the joke. It must have been a bad joke. Maybe it was just a bad joke, man. Who fucking knows?
I was also really, really drunk, and like the level of my humor at that time would have been like if I'd seen, like I was like farting in people's faces and shit, like that old bitch at the Bob Evans. That was the level of humor I was at, and them usually I'm at, honestly.
Story,
yeah, it is a great story.
Dude, that's a fucking amazing story.
It's the most triumphant story of my life, is why it's an amazing story.
It's an amazing story.
Like literally, I've never been more proud of anything I've ever done than farting in that woman's face.
You peaked that day in that Bob Evans.
What else?
TJ.
What else have you done?
TJ, I was like literally. I'll tell you what. I was literally proud. I was proud of TJ that day, and people know I'm not. I'm not one to compliment anybody, but I was like literally like TJ. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Scotty. I'm glad I was able to. I'm glad I was able to at least do one thing that pleased you, Scotty.
I can kick your butts.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
But I am the man with the 10-inch cock.
Oh, what's your number then?
TJ's like, on second thought.
Do you think Iron Sheik really has a 10-inch cock?
No, I don't think so.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I think
why?
He does, man. Why would he say he does if he doesn't?
It's possible, but I don't think so. He talks a lot of bullshit.
Nah.
I mean, he's still talking about how he can beat people's asses where, I mean, he's nothing like he used to be.
He's in a wheelchair now.
Well, he's stuck in the past. If anything, his cock might be bigger from, like, dangling all these years. It's probably 11 inches by now.
Every interview I see with the Sheik, he's like, back in 1982, Madison Square Garden, Hulk Hogan, I humbled him. 10,000 people watch me live. He's still like, you're like, Sheik, you're 70 now, man. You're 70 and dying of like lung cancer and consumption.
Well, what is he going to tell you about, man?
Yeah, what else is he got?
He's going to tell you about his Glory Days wrestler. He's going to tell you about like, I shit my pants yesterday.
Yeah, fuck it, let him have it.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Relive the Glory Days all you want, Iron Sheik. What is it? What are you doing?
I'll be honest with you, no, sir.
No, sir?
No,
I'm
sir.
not a little fag worse than Michael Jackson.
What he's talking about?
We're going to have Jim Cornette on, most likely the 24th.
Neat.
Yeah.
Nice.
Alpha Omega Sin is supposed to be on the next show.
Yes.
He hasn't 100. I mean, like he's confirmed, but he hasn't said anything since I sent him the last thing I sent him. But whatever. Anyway, he's supposed to be on Wednesday, so Alpha Omega Sin, everybody, yay,
yay,
yay!
I feel bad.
We're just using him to get to the angry video game nerd. That's our fucking goal there. He's like a stepping stone. Step on him.
I always get him mixed up with Razorfish. I feel bad about it. But it's true.
They look very different.
I don't know. I kind of have that too, though, because like they kind of do get mixed up in my mind.
But maybe a little bit.
One of them has a beard and is nicer.
Oh,
maybe like a tiny bit. It's not like, oh my God, they're the same.
It's not even so much about like the person, like the look, because it's just kind of like, you know, long-haired, whatever metal guy thing. There's like a superficial similarity, but it's more like something in the attitude or whatever. I don't know.
But Razorfish wears aviators and has a leather jacket, and he has long hair, but it's not that long, and he's clean shaven, and Alpha Omega Sin has like a long
big long beard, like a giant
and he doesn't wear a leather jacket, and he has like really long hair.
But I mean, like, it's not one of those things you're mixing them up.
Oh,
like if
I'm
you've
sorry,
seen a
I'm
lineup
sorry,
or
I'm
something. It's
sorry,
like
Paul
how
J.
I'm always getting fucking Iron Maiden and like.
I'm sorry,
Pantera
Paul and
mixed up.
TJ agree.
TJ's right,
Yeah.
TJ's right.
I'm just
Sorry.
saying we have both experienced this cross phenomena, man.
Thank you, Scotty.
Oh, it's the little Ben and Scotty club.
Someone send me that soundbite.
Is it cold there in my shadow, Ben?
So that when Paul does do that, I can just play it. Right, TJ's right. Like that.
When did I do what? I don't say TJ's right all the time.
No, when you agree with him, which is all the time.
We're not allowed to agree on shit anymore, Paul.
You can agree, I don't care, but we're just going to point out you guys are very similar.
Yeah, Paul J.
Say something I disagree with.
Yeah, Paul, disagree with TJ.
Yeah.
I vehemently disagree with you, Paul.
Madeline Albright is totally fuckable.
See, you're just saying bullshit.
No,
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I got to go with you on that, man. You know, fuck a powerful woman. I mean, you know.
I agree, TJ.
Make some money, even probably.
I mean, when Paul's called PJ by his family, so it is just appropriate. The two of them together should be referred to as PJ.
Or why?
Paul J.
No.
Paul J's good too.
Because that's all him, though. He's got a J, too. There's nothing of me in there. It has to be like PTJ or something.
PTJ? Nah, it doesn't roll off the tongue.
I don't care. It's like P.T. Barnum, but with a J instead of a Barnum.
No.
Fuck you.
Go fish.
Eat a dick. You don't get to
I
decide. You ain't the final authority. PT.
I am the final authority.
Final authority.
I am the final authority.
All right,
in my
troll.
life.
It's time for troll or not a troll.
He's his own guy.
I don't like where this is going.
What's it gonna be, Paul?
It's a troll. It's always a troll.
Okay.
Today it's not a troll.
No, it's a troll.
I don't believe Justice Antonin Scalia died of natural causes. Do you?
Damn it! It is a troll.
I believe he was
Those aren't even real glasses.
Yeah.
murdered. Somebody wanted him dead because he was too conservative. Natural causes, my ass! He was the picture of health. Somebody killed him.
He was found with a pillow over his head.
Natural causes, my ass.
Maybe his ass was the natural cause.
I know it's a troll too. It's like relevant and it's fucking crazy. This dude is crazy.
Dude, Scalia was found with a pillow over his head, though.
Oh, man.
So, as we all know, if there was a murderer that suffocated him that way, they would have left the pillow there.
Yeah, and the heart attack.
Naturally.
The heart attack was just a cover. Clearly a cover. The liberals took him out.
Maybe he's so stupid he suffocated himself when he forgot how to take the pillow off his head.
So you're saying maybe he was like jerking off or something? They cleaned it up, and it's like, you know,
could have been, man.
Jerker offer.
Yeah, they don't want Scalia. He was big into autoerotic asphyxiation, so instead,
it was the only way he could even get off anymore.
Yeah, like instead he just had a heart attack and died peacefully. Like
Who was it? Somebody living in the White House? Somebody who wants to live in the White House? Somebody who's gonna stack the Supreme Court so that the 5-4 always comes out liberal? You think this is...
I can't, man. This is the worst troll ever. This is a bad troll.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so we all agree it's a troll, right?
Troll, 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 troll.
Not even close.
It's a troll. He was murdered.
He was murdered. Maybe Scalia just realized what a fucking worthless piece of shit he was and just smothered himself with that pillow.
Hey, Paul, that's really offensive to his family. You need to stop.
Maybe he
that.
had like a moment of clarity, and he was like, "Jesus Christ, I've spent my entire life shitting on America. I'm just gonna eat this pillow till I die."
No.
He confessed at least. He's like, Jesus.
I like my stupidity
this.
explanation better, because yours actually has him feeling remorse for something. That ain't no good.
I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, you know.
Yeah. You're soft.
I'm really shocked. A fat old guy died of a heart attack. It's really shocking. That element of the story is like, who even cares?
He's not in that demographic, dude.
Not at all.
Ben's having some mouse trouble.
Yeah, some serious mouse trouble.
Well, shit.
Have somebody just blame
hold
TJ.
on. No, don't fuck.
TJ,
oh,
stop.
God,
Stop.
TJ.
What?
Step away from the mouse, TJ.
I have a mouse. I can use it.
Yeah, but we can't see the mouse pointer. That's the problem. And now you've lost it.
Oh, that's a fucking bitch.
Oh, okay. So the mouse pointers have vanished.
We'll be right back.
Woo!
Paul will be back.
Yes. You're garbage, TJ.
Greetings. Salutations. There. Scotty's camera's different now.
Yeah.
Sorry. All right, guys. Sorry, we're just making sure everything is like resolved before we carry on with the show. We had some issues with the mouse. We enabled a program that's supposed to give us multiple mouse pointers. Instead, it took all of our mouse pointers away. So
probably due to the liberal takeover of the internet.
We were flying blind, you know. Yeah. Liberal takeover of everything. I think Scalia's ghost came from beyond the grave and was like, they talking shit.
Beyond
Make their
the
mouse
grave.
pointers disappear. It was a nice anime reference, Scotty.
Brandon H.
12 people get that out there, dude.
Who cares?
Only 12 people get that, Scotty.
Then they're the fucking 12 good people who listen to this fucking podcast.
And the others are all shit.
They're all fucking garbage and shit.
If you don't get our obscure anime references, you're not cool.
I'll tell you what, back in the day, something like that happening, it would have taken us forever to come back.
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's probably like, what, 5 minutes or something?
Yeah, not even that long. So that's good.
Hey.
There we go.
Paul.
Loud
Oh,
hey, Pizzol, what's up?
Pizzol.
Way to ruin the whole podcast, TJ, with your mouse moving bullshit.
I know. I'm a piece of shit, dude.
He really is.
I'm a piece of shit.
He did it on
Ben
purpose.
initialized the program that fucking caused the shit.
Ben did it.
Yeah, you know what? I was just doing it so TJ could have more control. Now I realize that's just a mistake.
Yeah. Nature, it's like, well, I don't know if it was nature, but, you know,
Technology.
Some force out there was like, no, don't give this man more control. It's a bad idea. I rarely use that mouse anyway. Very occasionally.
Yeah, use the keyboard more than the mouse.
Yeah, because I'll use the little bar to stop and play videos.
Yeah, I had to just kind of look and see what things on the screen changed in order to be able to at least restart the computer.
Flying blind. It's crazy shit. Anyway, let's get back to the show. Where were we video-wise? Oh, yeah, let's play this. I mean, it's a little old, but it's funny as fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a lot of video backlog, so...
Yeah, this one we should have got to this one a little sooner, but it's never gonna die. It's always gonna be a classic.
Yeah.
exactly what he's doing.
No, I can't.
But I would add this. Let's dispel with this fiction that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing. He knows exactly what he's doing. Facts. Here's the bottom line. This notion that Barack Obama doesn't know what he's doing is just not true.
There it is.
He knows exactly
there it is,
what he's
the memorized 25-second speech.
Okay, and this is very important. So he's already said it 4 times.
He said it 3 times so far.
Okay, 3 times. And now
once after being called on saying it, by the way.
That's the reason why this campaign is so important.
To the Gang of 8 bill first.
Well, here's the response. I think anyone who believes that Barack Obama isn't doing what he's doing on purpose doesn't understand what we're dealing with here.
So his platform is Obama's a piece of shit, basically.
Marco Rubio is robot. Must dispel Obama. What?
Is this all from the same debate?
It is. It's from the same night.
Insane. That's sad.
He's a robot. He's a fucking machine. He's a fucking android. This is like the real life data.
I mean, his eyes do look
likable.
pretty fucking soulless. He's just like looking ahead, like, yes, this is my answer.
I am human. Well, he's looking ahead in like pure. He's looking ahead in horror because he doesn't know why they're booing the line that usually gets him cheers. It's because they know it's totally false, and you just have it like memorized in front of the mirror.
This just illustrates, I think, the difference between a politician like Marco Rubio and a politician like Bernie. I'm not saying Bernie doesn't have debate prep and shit, but I have a feeling that when asked a question like the one Marco was just asked, Bernie would probably be able to answer contemporaneously, whereas Marco has this little soundbite that his coaches were like, make sure you drill home that Obama knows what he's doing. So like Obama had nothing, like the whole question had nothing to do with what he's talking about. He just leads with it. Like, does he do it a bunch more times in this video?
That's it. Just those 4.
Oh, that's
but
it?
It's all in the same night, you know. After being called on it too. 2 of them after being called on it by Christie, who, as much as I don't like him, is an actual human being and not a fucking robot.
And he's now already out of the primaries, anyways.
And he could actually think on his fucking feet, whatever. Chris Christie should have struck when the iron was hot, man, because he was real popular a few years back. Now it's like he's just a fat tub of shit.
Yeah, the like Bridgegate thing kind of ruined him.
Yeah, even though most people don't even understand what the fuck happened with that.
Okay, this is a president. This is a president who is trying to change this country.
You hear that rising groan? Yes, they are booing.
Yeah, because he used it too many times.
And they're just like, boo. They're not really booing, but they're kind of just groaning in unison.
This video is entitled Ginsburg and Scalia's Wild Adventures.
Okay.
Supreme Court Justices Ruth Bader Ginsburg and Antonin Scalia may butt heads on the bench.
You know, what's not to like? Except her views of the law, of course.
But surprisingly shared the closest friendship of all the justices.
Why don't you call us the odd couple?
Their political differences are an elephant in the room they aren't afraid to confront or ride, as they did on vacation.
Even though they're adversaries in the highest court in the land, they still friends.
I wonder if this was made before he died. I think potentially.
It seems like maybe.
It does seem like it.
They're kind of talking about him in the present tense, so.
Together in India in 1994.
That was a rather bumpy ride.
Scalia clearly admires his pint-sized partner's taste for adventure.
Pint-sized partner.
Yeah, it's like, what?
This is just like some total CNN writing.
It's a Supreme Court justice, you know.
Yeah.
Pint-sized partner. Like it's Yoda or some shit.
On their trips.
And Ruth, honest to goodness, went up behind a motorboat in one of those sailing.
Carousel.
Yeah.
No offense, but she kind of looks like she would blow apart in a parasail, you know?
Yeah.
Like arms and shit flying off.
I mean, yeah, she's so light you would think she would never come down.
Scalia even helped his friend out by giving her an advanced copy of his dissenting opinion so she could better write what is now a landmark majority opinion. Striking down an all-male admission policy at a public college.
So I took this dissent, this very spicy dissent, and it absolutely ruined my weekend at the Second Circuit.
Another point the duo.
They're the odd couple. They're friends, but no one thinks they should be. All right.
Yeah.
It sounds like a sitcom to me, dude. Scalia and Ginsburg, two crazy Supreme Court justices. One's liberal, the other's conservative, but they live together in a 2-bedroom apartment.
That's awesome. And they got some wacky neighbors, I'm presuming.
Yeah.
All right. George W. Bush, strongest is not the loudest.
I came here for 2 reasons. One, because I care deeply about Jeb. And 2, because I care deeply about our country.
Dude, Jeb must be real desperate if he's rolling out fucking his bro. Like, hey, bro, come help me, please.
He's better off bringing his dad out.
I don't even know if he can if he can do that.
Yeah,
at this
he can't even do that at this point. He's like 95 or something.
Is he like confined to a wheelchair or some shit? Wheel his
sure.
old ass out there. That might get you some sympathy votes.
He is more liked than George W.
Look at my old ass dad. It's his dying wish that I be president.
He's doing what all Bushmen do when they reach the end of their life cycle. He's starting to cocoon himself so he can be reborn as the next Bush.
Neat.
You know, I thought it was appropriate to discuss a subject I know a lot about. What it's like to be president. Being your president was a high privilege and the honor of a lifetime. And by the way, if serving as president of the United States makes me a part of the so-called establishment, I proudly carry that label.
What? Oh my God!
It was just a fucking smirk.
Yep.
Like, I was president.
I was president.
God, I miss him, man. Bring him back. Bring back Bush.
Being your president.
Oh, what?
You're garbage, TJ.
I miss Bush.
You're an idiot. You don't even mean that.
I do mean it, especially now that I got this show, man.
I guess the only reason why you could say that is because your memory is so bad that you don't even remember all the fucking videos you made bashing.
I remember.
No,
That's
you
what
don't.
I'm saying, man.
You don't remember.
That was fertile fucking ground to grow videos. I could fucking be churning that shit out. The motherfucker be doing this crazy shit every day. Bush was constantly doing shit. Yeah, good.
Being your president makes me a bought and sold out establishment shill, and I proudly wear that label. Guilty as charged, sold out. Yep, establishment. Yep.
You have to have had principles at some point to sell out, though.
There seems to be a lot of name calling going on, but I want to remind you what our good dad told me one time. Labels are for soup cans.
Some real fucking wisdom.
Homespun wisdom from the Bush clan. Like they've ever eaten soup from a fucking can.
Presidency is a serious job that requires sound judgment and good ideas. And there's no doubt in my mind that Jeb Bush has the experience and the character to be a great president.
Like, it's basically the kiss of death to get him to come out here and do this.
You know, he wasn't even welcome at the convention that they had when they nominated John McCain.
They had him do like a little minute-long video thing, like, hey, it's me, the current sitting president and leader of this party.
Yep.
Shove me in the back. I mean, like, this is a guy who left office with, like, what, 20% approval ratings or some shit?
Yeah, he also has his own private, 747 that he can fly anywhere in the world he wants to. And he somehow couldn't make the convention, right?
Yeah, he was just too busy being president.
Yep.
President stuff going on, guys.
Yeah, at the point that convention happened, I'm shocked that they even had him do anything.
I mean, this is kind of like
it literally is.
It's kind of like having Charles Manson be a character witness or something, man. It's
full-blown desperation. You have to roll out the most unpopular Republican president of all time, basically. Maybe
I can
since,
squeeze one more vote out of it.
Nixon.
Yeah, since Nixon. Yeah, the worst Republican president since Nixon. You got to wheel him out.
Look, they've been doing that hologram shit lately, like at music state, like they do like it's hologram Elvis or whatever. They could do like a hologram Nixon to come endorse.
Look, guys, Bush got the 3 a.m. calls, and our country was safe, aside from 9/11 and those other terrorist attacks. Our country was safe. Bush knows. Another Bush is what we fucking need. Take it from a fucking guy whose daddy was president and he was president, and now he wants his brother to be president. But we can trust him.
Talk about a dynasty, huh?
Wow, this is an easy crowd, man. A real easy crowd. He's slaying. You hear this? People are on their fucking feet for these bad jokes.
I mean, this is a bot. This is a crowd they bought.
Well, I mean, he was.
This is done somewhere where Bush is actually very popular.
Probably Texas. Or no, it says South.
It's North Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah.
I think it's South Carolina.
They just use like rent a crowd and like they get a bunch of people like, we love you, Bush.
No, they didn't have to. He's popular there, from what I hear.
He is really.
Yeah. There's a bunch of veterans in the crowd and shit, and they all love him, even though he sent them to like a hellhole to die. So whatever.
Okay.
They're morons. I don't know. Fought for our freedom doesn't mean they're too bright.
You flushed thousands of my compatriots' lives down the sand toilet. I love you, Bush.
All right, let's see. No, skip that one. All right, here's another thing about Scalia.
Scalia. He's dead.
Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia transported home to Virginia aboard a private plane. The 79-year-old conservative icon was found dead of natural causes Saturday morning in his bed at this Texas hunting resort. President Obama mourning his loss in an address before the nation.
Justice Scalia dedicated his life to the cornerstone of our democracy.
Dude, Michele Bachmann was on Twitter whining that, like, Obama wouldn't even cancel his golf plans to honor Scalia or some shit.
Who gives a shit? There's no way Obama even really cares besides, like, okay, what's what happens next? He does not care about his...
I wouldn't interrupt picking my nose for that shit. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, a bunch of people got pissed off at you on Twitter because you're like, who gives a fuck?
I didn't say who gives a fuck. I said it's good.
Oh, you said it was good. Okay. So you're glad he's dead. Well, I mean, honestly, I am too, so...
I mean, I'm not really glad he's dead. I mean, I don't really care about him one way or the other. I mean, yeah, he did some shitty things, but whatever. He was just motivated by his beliefs like anybody. But
yeah,
why I'm glad is that it means that we can get a better fucking person on the court. And like he was always like a terrible
that's why I'm honestly
to any
glad.
sort of like liberal cause.
That's such a great screenshot right there.
He's like, looks like he's whistling.
Yeah. Oh man, really? You're gonna bust out Robin Hood?
We just watched that the other day.
Really? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how much more fun Bush is than this guy, though? Seriously.
Scalia's sudden death comes as the justices are considering major cases on contraception, abortion, immigration, and voting rights, and is expected to have a huge impact on the court.
There's both a long-term impact to Justice Scalia's death and a short-term impact. And the short-term impact is going to be immediately felt. All of these cases are very narrowly divided on the court. One vote here and there could tip the balance.
Without Scalia on the bench, the 8 remaining justices could find themselves in a 4-4 split in their decisions. If that happens, the lower court's ruling is upheld, and there is no national precedent set by the High Court, or a decision is delayed until a new justice is named.
So where the government lost below, a 4-4 tie in the...
And of course, the Republicans are saying now, we're going to block anyone Obama tries to nominate. Even though it falls upon the president to do this job, and even though he's got a year left in his presidency, we got to wait till the next election. Well, what are they going to do if it's like Hillary or Sanders, though? I mean, I guess they're just like, well,
then they'll just fight it.
Maybe
that really is the problem that they're facing, because if they obstruct this, they may just be handing the nomination to somebody even farther to the left of Obama. So I don't really get, and if Obama does, or if we do have a Democratic president after this, likely the Senate will follow. So they might lose their majority in the Senate as well. I don't really understand.
They'll never lose it in the House, though,
like,
with all the gerrymandering.
I think the Republicans have gotten this idea in their heads that, like, in order to show that they're doing something on Capitol Hill, they just got to obstruct everything Obama does. Obama wants to clean up some watershed in Kentucky that's poisoning people. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm gonna filibuster this bitch. Like that doesn't pass for doing something. That's just dragging your fucking heels.
Well, they're conservatives. They don't want things to change, really. If they do want changes, it's like, let's get rid of entitlements, let's get rid of this, let's get rid of that.
When I was a kid, we drank poison water and we turned out just fine.
Yeah, all those pussies.
Except my
in Flint.
gimpy arm,
Yeah, all the people in Flint. Why can't they just get used to the lead in their water?
Oh, that's in a lot of cities, like Baltimore. There's a ton of cities with high lead content. That's the biggest joke
Eventually,
about
we
it.
will evolve into a new species that can digest lead.
Supreme Court means the government still
Better
loses.
hurry.
And so, for example, on
Evolution.
President Obama's immigration plan,
Evolution,
that would not
bitch.
be a win for the White House.
The battle for a new justice has already begun. Some early possibilities include Sri Srinivasan, a 48-year-old
Hell no.
D.C. Circuit Court judge appointed
Not on
by
my
a
watch.
unanimous Senate vote. Merrick Garland, Chief
Yeah,
Judge of
him,
D.C.'s
better.
Court of Appeals.
I don't know who any of these people are.
I don't know who they are either.
Considered a
Of course
moderate
not.
nominated by President Clinton. Paul Watford, an Obama appointee
Yeah.
to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. And Jane Kelly, another
Definitely
Obama
not.
appointment
Jesus.
in Iowa, who, like Srinivasan, was
weird-looking
confirmed
face,
by
man.
a unanimous vote by the
And it's a
Senate.
woman.
No matter
Can't
what.
trust 'em.
Anybody remember when George Bush tried to get his personal attorney?
Oh,
on
God,
the
that
Dude, that was the
great.
fucking funniest shit. I forgot all about that.
even conservatives were
qualified.
talking shit. Like
The
all
whole party was embarrassed,
Yeah,
dude.
all the people on the radio, like the Rush Limbaughs of the world,
Dude, they didn't even,
were pissed.
She wasn't even voted on. She withdrew. It was so bad.
Yeah, there was
Who
like
was
total
that again?
backlash. I don't remember her name now.
She was George Bush's personal attorney.
Yeah, I remember that.
she was not qualified.
Well, dude,
I
Bush,
think you'd make a good Supreme Court justice.
she was all about
Well, Bush-
cronyism, of
Bush
course.
was known for that shit, though. He appointed a bunch of people that had literally no experience to these high positions, like the what was it, Brownie and FEMA, the guy he called Brownie.
Heck of a job, Brownie.
Wasn't he like
Yeah.
he like did like show horses or something, right?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was like the
Well,
president of some like
when I'm
horse
looking for a guy
bullshit.
to protect the country from a massive disaster, I'm looking for the guy that raises Arabian ponies for and he knows what's what about shoring up a dike or
Shoring up a dike.
What?
what do they call those things in fucking
Levees.
Louisiana? Weren't they dikes?
Levies. They're
Go with
called
dike.
They're called dikes in the Netherlands.
They're called dikes here too.
Yeah,
Put your finger in the dike.
it was just funny because they talked about the dikes a lot when I was in
Oh, yeah, I'm
Amsterdam.
sure they did.
Sometimes you
Happens
gotta
in the
plug
coming
dikes,
months.
dude.
Democrats and Republicans agree Justice Scalia's legacy as a legal giant will long survive him, even if the court's conservative majority
Couldn't we
doesn't.
compromise by just lowering it to like 3/4 height? Because not all of us feel like it needs to be half-mast, you know. But I'm willing
It
to
is
compromise.
Scalia, you know,
three.
he is really only worth a 3/4 flag.
Yeah, you know, bring it down a little, but not all the way to the middle. You know. Over?
Yeah,
I guess it's over.
All right.
Much
so
like Scalia's life.
You're a monster.
Here's Ted Cruz on the whole Scalia thing and who's going to replace him.
He's going to appoint himself and become
The
president.
Constitution says the president shall
judge.
appoint with advice and consent from the Senate, just to clear that up. So he has the constitutional power. But you don't think he should.
I
Where do you
dismissively
set that
nods.
date if you're president? Does it begin in election year, in December, November, September? And once you set the date, when you're president, will you abide by that date?
Well, we have 80 years of precedent of not confirming Supreme Court justices in an election year.
No,
that's not true.
That's just a lie.
And let me say, Justice Scalia.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Were any appointed in an election year? Or is that just there were 80 years?
80 years of not confirming. For example, LBJ nominated Abe Fortas. Fortas did not get confirmed. He was defeated.
But Kennedy was confirmed in 88.
No, Kennedy was confirmed in 87.
He was appointed in 87.
He was appointed in
confirmed
88.
That's the question. Is it appointing or confirming? What's the difference?
What's your
Wow.
bullshit niggling problem with Obama appointing is it the appointment or is it the confirmation? Like,
You know,
Jesus
I
Christ.
just wish they could just be honest and be like, look, we got to do anything in our power. We're going to do anything in our power to keep another liberal off the court, and that's just how it's
Yeah,
going to be.
this is going to shift the balance of power. We don't want
pretend
that.
like this is some legit thing or like, man, you know, there's precedent and stuff. Like, it's all bullshit.
It is.
Just admit to what you're fucking doing. You fucking lying, deceiving snake.
Okay,
Yeah, we
I
know-
would
we all know
respect
if
you.
Ted
I would
Cruz
respect
becomes
you
president.
fucking 10 times more if you just outright said This is why we're blocking it. We're blocking it because we don't want some Obama ideology shit.
You saw the Ted Cruz like raw footage of his his campaign commercials and propaganda he puts out. Like Ted Cruz is about as fake as they come. Maybe Marco Rubio surpasses Ted Cruz in that, but that's about it.
We all know that Ted Cruz, if he does by some miracle become the president, and Ruth Bader Ginsburg kicks the bucket during an election year, during his re-election year, he's going to hold off on the appointment. He's not going to immediately try and install some shit-kicking Southern Baptist preacher on the fucking court. No.
David Duke to the Supreme Court.
In this case, it's both. But if I could answer the question.
Sorry, I just want to get the facts straight.
No, you can't answer the question because you're a liar.
Boo! Nuance! Boo! Boo!
Justice Scalia was a legal giant. He was somebody that I knew for 20 years. Really? He was a brilliant man. He was faithful to the Constitution. He changed the arc of American legal history. And I'll tell you, his passing tonight, our prayers are with his family, with his wife Maureen, who he adored.
Get Scalia's cold, dead dick out of your fucking mouth.
His 9 children, his 36 grandkids, but it underscores the stakes of this election. We are one justice away from a Supreme Court that will strike down every restriction on abortion adopted by the states. We are one justice away from a Supreme Court that will reverse the Heller decision, one of Justice Scalia's seminal decisions that upheld the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
Second Amendment case.
We are one justice away from a Supreme Court that would undermine the religious liberty of millions of Americans. And the stakes of this election for this
undermine
year,
their religious
where the
liberty.
Senate,
Christianity's banned, you guys.
We outlaw Christianity.
Bernie Sanders is outlawing religion because he says the state is the one true God.
the Senate needs to stand strong and say, we're not going to give up the U.S. Supreme Court for a generation by allowing Barack Obama to make one more liberal appointee. And then, the state of South Carolina, one of the most important judgments for the men and women of South Carolina to make is who on this stage has the background, the principle, the character, the judgment, and the strength of resolve to nominate and confirm principled constitutionalists to the court. That will be what I will do if I'm...
Okay, so you just admitted you are totally biased, and this is just subterfuge.
Glenn Beck is the new Supreme Court Justice.
Oh, that is, by the way,
God, that'd be entertaining.
That's what he will do, unless it's an election year, and then he'll, of course, hold off on nominating anybody.
He's like, you know what, guys? It'd be inappropriate for me not to nominate someone right now.
Obama was elected fucking president. That's his fucking job, is to nominate someone, and then the Senate fucking approves it.
What do they even care? Like, Ginsburg is definitely going to die soon anyway, and if there's a Republican president next election cycle, they can fucking put some new conservative in there and restore balance to the court.
Isn't Ted Cruz running as some kind of strict constitutionalist? I mean, can he quote the part of the Constitution that says that the president should not or cannot nominate a justice in an election year? Or is he just pulling that one out of his fucking
There's
rosy
80
red
years
ass?
of precedence, Paul.
There's a precedence in his ass, dude.
All right, here's Trump and Jeb argue about George W. Bush, Iraq, and 9/11.
Cool.
On Monday, George W. Bush will campaign in South Carolina for his brother. As you said tonight, and you've often said, the Iraq War and your opposition to it was a sign of your good judgment. In 2008, in an interview with Wolf Blitzer talking about President George W. Bush's conduct of the war, you said you were surprised that Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi didn't try to impeach him. You said, quote, which personally I think would have been a wonderful thing, close quote. When you were asked what you meant by that, you said, for the war. For the war. He lied. He got us into the war with lies. Do you still believe President Bush should have been impeached?
First of all, I have to say, as a businessman, I get along with everybody. I have business all over the world.
What the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Oh, my God. It's like, I swear, we're hearing
Everybody
the same
loves
shit
me.
over and over out of every candidate. It's like everybody's got this little script they're reading at these fucking debates. Like, Trump's going to fucking trumpet his business experience, and Rubio's going to talk about how Obama knows what he's doing. And Jeb's going to talk about, I bet Jeb's response to this is, you know what? Say what you want about my brother, but he kept us safe on 9/11.
I think he's actually going to pull a Brett Keane and be like, stop attacking my family.
I've actually seen like a thing where people they actually calculate all the words and things Trump has said. They have like his top phrases to just like attack people.
I know so many of the people in the audience. And by the way, I'm a self-funder. I have my wife and I have my son. That's all I have. I don't have this. So let me just tell you, I get along with everybody, which is my obligation to my company, to myself.
You do not get along with everybody. You're a very contentious figure.
Everyone loves him.
This would be like me saying I get along with everybody.
I think Trump actually gets along with less people than anybody else in the United States. Like I really don't think he gets along with anyone. Like has he had a run-in with any candidate, any opposing candidate, any fucking like debate moderator at this point, any fucking interviewer that he's been in contact with? Has he not like started some controversy with everybody he talks to?
This motherfucker probably nominate his fucking bathroom mirror for like VP or some shit. It's beautiful.
Etc. Obviously, the war in Iraq was a big fat mistake.
I thought he was about to say big fucking mistake for a second there. I was excited. That would be
awesome. Right? Now you can take it any way you want, and it took Jeb Bush, if you remember at the beginning of his announcement, when he announced for president, took him 5 days. He went back. It was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. Took him 5 days before his people told him what to say. And he ultimately said it was a mistake. The war in Iraq, we spent $2 trillion, thousands of lives. We don't even have it. Iran is taking over Iraq with the second largest oil reserves in the world. Obviously, it was a mistake. So George Bush made a mistake. We can make mistakes, but that one was a beauty. We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East.
But so you still think?
I agree.
Yeah.
He should be impeached.
I think it's my turn, isn't it? You do whatever you want.
I mean,
it's my turn.
I mean, I guess I can't really say he's a little late on it because he was saying it at the time, but it's kind of late for the GOP to applaud those talking points, you know? Because I remember they used to hear the same shit from Bill Maher and be like, he's a traitor. He's a fucking traitor.
They had fervor. There was the war in Iraq is going well. Afghanistan's going well. Everything's going to be fine. We're bringing peace and democracy.
America reigns supreme.
You call it whatever you want. I want to tell you, they lied. Okay. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
Boo! Boo! Reality! Boo! Truth! Boo!
60 Minutes did a scathing thing about the evidence that Colin Powell presented in front of the UN.
60 Minutes is liberal media trash.
Even if you think that, go look at the evidence they have. It's overwhelming that it was all made up.
I ain't persuaded by no so-called evidence.
When a member on the stage's brother gets attacked,
I got
brother
about
gets
5
to
or 6.
respond.
Do I get to do it 5 or 6 times or just once responding to that? So here's the deal.
Got him.
I don't even understand.
He's been saying Trump makes a bunch of outbursts. Can I have a bunch of outbursts? So it's like, I'm civil.
I'm sick and tired of Barack Obama blaming my brother for all of the problems that he's had. And frankly, I could care less about the insults that Donald Trump gives to me. It's blood sport for him. He enjoys it, and I'm glad he's happy about it.
Bullshit.
But I am sick and tired of him going after my family. My dad is the greatest man alive in my mind.
Your dad is the greatest man alive.
Why? Why do you believe that?
A single-term failed Republican president who left office kind of disgraced. Yeah.
Greatest man of all time.
Greatest man ever. Will go down in history as one of the most influential and memorable American presidents. You remember that George Bush guy? He had the stuff.
George Washington, Abe Lincoln, FDR, George H.W.
Everyone's going to remember
Bush.
his son. His son is going to be the one that's remembered, not him.
Well, the whole Bush dynasty is going to be remembered. And Jeb is obviously going to get the nomination of the party, too.
No, he's not.
Oh, yeah, he is. Look at him. He's so Jebby.
While Donald Trump was building a reality TV show, my brother was building a security apparatus to keep us safe. And
well, Trump's reality
you
TV show
called
was
it.
successful.
Oh, you called
Just
it.
wait.
Your
just
brother's
wait.
security apparatus was not.
Yeah, just wait.
I'm proud of what he did. And he's had the gall to go
The
after
World
my
Trade
mother.
Center came
He's
down
had the
during
gall
your
to go
brother's
after
reign.
my
Remember
mother.
that.
Hold on.
Let me finish this. He's had the gall.
That's true.
Boo,
Why?
Truth,
Oh, are they?
boo.
They're literally booing reality. It's like on your brother's watch, this fucking horrible terrorist attack happened. Boo! What? It's true.
To go after my mother.
That's not keeping
Look, I
us
won
safe.
the lottery when I was born 63 years ago and looked up and I saw my mom. My mom is the strongest woman I know.
She should be.
So your dad is the greatest man of all time, and your mom is the strongest woman you know. Okay.
And they fucking produced this fucking turd?
Yeah, I mean, like, if that were really the case, would you be their offspring? I don't think
look
so.
Look at how mad Jeb looks here, man. Jeez.
Yeah, he looks really
Jeb's like a pit bull.
It's not about my family or his family.
Okay.
This is about the South Carolina families that need someone to be a commander-in-chief that can lead. And I'm that person.
Governor Kasich, would you weigh in on...
Governor Kasich. Who the fuck cares what Governor Kasich has to say?
I don't really give a shit.
Boo, moderators.
Governor Kasich, please weigh in.
I got to tell you, this is just crazy, huh? This
Let's
is
hear
just
what Gary
nuts.
Shandling
Okay?
lookalike has to say.
Jeez, oh man.
Jeez, oh man.
I'm sorry,
What?
John.
Wait, why is it nuts? Talk about it. Give us your sense of...
Oh, well, listen, I think being in Iraq, look, we thought there were weapons of mass destruction. Colin Powell, who's one of the most distinguished generals in modern times, said there were weapons there, but...
Yeah, and he later came out and said, like, I really shouldn't have said that.
He was
Bush
pressured.
administration
Yeah.
basically pressured me into saying that. Like, you're
Well,
just
it's
going to
kinda-
erase that part of history?
He's
Or?
repudiated that. He has done it. He's basically said I was bullshit.
It's kind of become the Republican go-to talking point when you're trying to justify the Iraq war. We're no longer even pretending now that it was a good idea. We're no longer even pretending that. We're just saying that, like, now we're dumping it all in the lap of Colin Powell. We're like, yeah, man, he was so distinguished, and he's like, he didn't get that information from somebody else. Like, he came to that conclusion himself. He was
CIA.
like, you know, sitting in my my little house here in Kentucky, I'm pretty sure there's weapons. Let's go get them. You know, like, no, he got bad intelligence that they knew was bad when they gave it to him, that he knew was bad when he gave the speech, because they told him, oh, no, all the missing pieces will fall into place. We just need a statement. And he said all this. He's come out after the fact and said, I rushed to judgment. It's the worst, probably the worst spot on my career. And yet they're still using it as if it's an excuse to dump thousands of lives and trillions of dollars down the fucking toilet.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable how they just, like, excise big chunks out of history. Like, oh, this is inconvenient. Sweep that right under the fucking rug.
But the fact is we got ourselves in the middle of a civil war. The Sunni, the Shia, and the Kurds never gotten along. In fact, that country was drawn, the borders of that country were drawn after World War I by Westerners that didn't understand what was happening there. The tragedy of it is that we're still embroiled, and frankly, if there weren't weapons of mass destruction, we should never have gone. I don't believe that the United States should involve itself in civil wars. Civil wars are not in our direct interest, and look, I served on the Defense Committee for 18 years and was called into the Pentagon after.
Oh my God, you're not going to be president.
I'm so
no
experienced.
One cares. No one gives a
Another
fuck.
thing-
Just drop out. You're
Another
boring
thing
and you're
that
lame.
bothers me too about this, like, revisionist history that fucking Republicans do, is like they're acting like weapons of mass destruction were the only bullshit premise that were given to the American people for invading Iraq. Like, we weren't talking about how Saddam and Osama bin Laden were best buddies. he was housing all these Al-Qaeda terrorists and shit, when in fact the truth of the matter was that Saddam was the one that was keeping Al-Qaeda from taking over fucking Iraq.
Yeah, they said
Like,
they said too, like, Saddam helped plan 9/11. He was
Yeah.
instrumental in providing support for the mission.
No, dude, the best part about it is they weren't there before, but they were after. You can't even write this shit.
You know, another thing that they did is, like, this bait and switch is, like, weapons of mass destruction when they went there, like, pretty much only meant, like, nuclear weapons. that's what weapons of mass destruction meant. But then they like found some like chemical weapons, and they tried to be like, yeah, look, some weapons of mass destruction. We found some like old mustard gas in a barrel or some shit.
Yeah, some old Soviet tear gas or some shit. We found a tear gas grenade in Saddam's basement. So there it is. Mass destruction.
You could probably kill 6-7 people with that if you put it in the right place, you know?
Well, no, probably not kill them, but really irritate their eyes, nose, and throat, though.
After 9/11 by Secretary Rumsfeld to deal with some of the most serious problems that we face. The fact is that we should go to war when it is our direct interest. We should not be policemen of the world, but when we go, we mean business. We'll do our job. We'll tell our soldiers, our people in the service, take care of your job, and then come home once we've accomplished our goals. That's what we need to do.
30 seconds, Senator.
You suck.
I just want to say, at least on behalf of me and my family, I thank God.
Family. Me and my family.
Your family. You thank God. Okay,
we haven't quite got the
wonderful.
circuitry right on family yet. He keeps saying family.
All the time that it was George W. Bush in the White House on 9/11 and not Al Gore.
Oh, you were happy? Oh, look at this fucking smirking piece of shit.
Yeah, because if Al Gore was there, he would have just probably sat there staring with a desolate, empty fucking expression on his face for 7 minutes.
He would have called the Osama up and been like, "We surrender."
Al
Yeah,
Gore.
thank goodness Bush was president during 9/11, because if Gore was president, we might still have a couple $1 trillion in the national treasury, a couple thousand American soldiers might be home eating dinner with their families right now. We might have spent that money on infrastructure and scientific research and education and reestablished America as a bright, vibrant place that people want to be. But instead, thankfully, because George W. Bush was on the throne, we got nothing. Our shit's falling apart. Our education is like 90th in the world. Yeah, man. Thank God for George W. Bush.
He was a godsend. He really
God
was.
bless him.
That was
This is-
another
this
thing
is
that God. Bush said he like prayed to God before he made the decision to go to war, and apparently God gave him an affirmative. I mean, he never outright said directly,
you
like,
mean
God
Dick
told me
Cheney?
to do it.
Dick Cheney's in there. Yes.
Yeah, Dick Cheney fucking. Maybe Dick Cheney was on
Gotta
the
go to
roof
war.
with a megaphone like, "It's me, God. You must attack Iraq. George, do it."
I think you can look back in hindsight and say a couple things, but he kept us safe. And not only did he keep us safe, but no matter.
You just admitted he didn't keep us safe.
He kept us safe. If us doesn't include the thousands of American families that lost a loved one, or the somewhere nearing millions of Iraqi people who are now homeless, destitute, living on the streets, have family members that have been blown up by fucking misplaced drones and shit. Yeah, he kept
I
us
guess
safe.
anyone who's
man.
alive and in the audience was kept safe. Like, sure.
What you want to say about weapons of mass destruction, Saddam Hussein was in violation of UN resolutions, an open violation, and the world wouldn't do anything about it. And George W. Bush enforced what the international community refused to do. And again, he kept us safe, and I am forever grateful to what he did.
He kept us safe when the World Trade Center came down.
That didn't attack us.
Yeah, did he keep all the soldiers that died there safe?
Yeah. When the
Sure did.
international community all got together and were like, "Man, we don't think this is the best idea," George W. Bush had the balls to defy logic and commit $2 trillion to a bullshit boondoggle that we all wish never happened. Thank God for George W. Bush. Here's to you, Bush. I'm drinking this Moscato to you.
Pour some on the ground for your dead homies.
The world, excuse me, I lost hundreds of friends. The World Trade Center came down during the rain. He kept us safe. That's not safe. That is not safe. Why?
All right.
That is not safe.
The World Trade Center came down because Bill Clinton didn't kill Osama bin Laden when he had the chance to kill.
Oh,
okay,
what garbage.
Were they just bitching earlier about, like, Obama just blames everything on Bush?
Ronald Reagan and the CIA
shit that
armed
happened-
Osama bin Laden and gave him training. Oh, so now is it Reagan's fault? I mean, whose fault is it?
Obama just blames everything on Bush, but really, everything is Clinton's fault. Like, what? Like, cognitive dissonance much, fellas?
Oh, my.
And George Bush. By the way, George Bush had the chance also, and he didn't listen to the advice of his CIA.
All right, Dr. Carson, we have a...
Can I just...
Yeah, I think that's it.
Can I just suck my brother's dick real quick one more time? Look, George kept us safe, man. Safe. Never mind the fact that the worst domestic terror attack in U.S. history happened on his watch. Other than that, he kept us safe.
I'm just glad he was president and not, Gore, dude.
Yeah.
Because, Gore probably would have... I mean, who even knows what Gore would have
He would have surrendered, dude. He would have surrendered.
I think Gore would have just, launched... I mean, I think he would have gone beyond surrendering. I think, he would have just destroyed America on his own. He just, launched nukes.
He would have focused on, the fucking environment, which isn't even important at all.
Yeah, how's it even important? We just live in it, What's the big deal?
Yeah, man.
Let's not forget that these are the guys that tried to kill my dad.
It is kind of absurd that Trump here is the voice of reason when he's the guy that wants to build a giant wall between the United States and Mexico.
Yeah, that's the most reasonable man on stage.
Yeah. The most reasonable dude in the Republican fucking field is the dude that wants to literally deport several million Mexican people. He wants to come up with some way to get enough trucks together, I guess, to load up several million Mexican people who have families here and ship them all back to Mexico.
The thing is that Trump would be called a hypocrite if he had a different position now, because I remember back when Bush was president and the war was, in full swing, and he was a vocal critic of George Bush back then. So,
well, unfortunately, that's because he was more liberal back then,
right?
Well,
when he was donating, when he was
liberal businessman kind of person, this New York businessman, to this ravenous Republican hardliner. I don't know, dude. It really is absurd that a man with a fucking raccoon tail on his head is the most likable candidate on this stage.
Yeah.
What do we got next?
Let's see.
What a field, Republicans. What a field, man. Keep up the good work. The cream rises to the top.
I, for
got
one,
a
am
reality
totally
TV
optimistic.
star, a fucking
despite this crowd's
robot
negative,
that keeps repeating itself,
despite this crowd's negative
the
fucking
brother
reaction
of one
to
of the
him.
worst presidents in American history, and Kasich, what the fuck is he doing there?
Kasich doesn't even belong there.
Kasich seems like
Most of
he's
them don't belong
lost.
there anymore. But the thing is, if you go to the Drudge Report right after these polls, they always have a poll to see who's the winner. And I mean, I'll tell you what, even with this crowd here booing Trump and shit, he was still far and away the winner on the Drudge Report, which is pretty much the most popular conservative fucking news rag on the internet. So he's got his followers for sure.
Not to mention it, this is supposed to be a debate between the candidates. Why is the audience being like, "Bruh"? It's like, let them fucking have a debate. Why do you really need your little booze to get in there? I mean, this is like a comedy show, or I guess maybe it is to us, but
this is this is a comedy show, dude.
Well, Gary Shandling was there.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, I don't know how that's not mentioned more in the mainstream media or at all, honestly.
I didn't even think of it until you said it. I mean, you literally say it every time.
He looks exactly almost
Gary
like
Shandling
Gary
is not
Shandling,
relevant
dude.
enough to be mentioned. That's why.
true.
That's why.
No one gives a fuck about Gary Shandling.
I still don't think he looks exactly like him.
He doesn't look exactly, but so close.
I can see a resemblance.
It's very similar. They have similar faces. Oh, shit.
I don't see it.
Active.
All right.
You don't see it.
You're fucking garbage, TJ.
I really don't see it. Anyway,
they're fucking twins, dude.
Jeb Bush gets cut off by his own hosts.
That's awesome.
Let's take a look.
Veterans affairs get cut off, like Social Security, maybe Medicare, and others. They stop. But the benefits inside the Department of Veterans Affairs continue, which is, it's like it's like a nightmare after a nightmare. And it took them 9 months to fix it.
I mean,
this is a real story here in New Hampshire. I can promise you the best way to show respect outside of rebuilding.
I can't even. This guy just seems like a lame, city councilman or something, doesn't he? I mean, he doesn't. Does this seem like presidential material to anybody? Is anyone really looking at this guy like? Aside from his like family credentials of having like a one-term president daddy and a two-term unpopular president
He was
brother.
governor of Florida. That's his credential.
I mean, Jeb, if you're looking at qualifications, like especially if you're comparing him against past presidents, he clearly has qualifications.
I'm not talking about those kind of qualifications,
judging on
though. You guys are misunderstanding what I'm saying.
Well, that's executive experience in government.
You're right. He is
oh
like
my God.
Kind of third-rate small-town city council person or something.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is like the charisma of a president. The fucking you look at that and you see like that's a presidential fucking.
You're saying
person.
you're saying he doesn't have leadership skills. Is what you're saying? Like he doesn't like exude like a leadership.
Who's passionate about this fucking guy?
Almost
Nobody.
no one.
He has to put a fucking exclamation point at the end of his name just so people be like, "Oh yeah,
He is very
it's exciting."
dull. He is a very bland vanilla candidate, I would say. Jeb, he's here.
His campaign slogan is just Jeb.
And I noticed they kept Bush off the signs too. You know, they didn't want to include that. Like, let's get away from the whole Bush thing if we can.
Should the way he's defending his family, he should just fucking own it. He should be like, yeah, I'm a Bush, so what?
Our military, two men and women uniform, is to fix that mess as fast as I can. That's it? Thank you.
That's it?
They're kicking me out the door.
They're still clapping, so they must approve.
Yeah, well, that
all
was
right,
nice.
yeah. I'm gonna do. You know, they should just from now on, just like yeah, okay, it's done now.
He's like, dude. Well, you know, it was a luncheon, so basically they wanted to eat lunch. Like, yeah, we heard enough of this shit. Bye.
All right, there's Jeb Bush. He's never gonna be president. Everybody, he's leaving now. Bye.
This little shit-kicking Rotary Club in Nashua, New Hampshire, is like. They've got like one of the main Republican candidates there, and they're like, "Wrap it up. Let's come on, man. We got a potluck to have, man. We got roast beef."
They're kicking me out the door.
Get the fuck out,
Governor. Thank you very much for joining us today. I believe your schedule has a hard stop. There are more than 1 million Rotarians around this globe.
He's like,
we all share
he doesn't know where to go.
4 tests that guide our daily interaction with each other,
he's kind of just
with our
mulling
friends,
around
with our
the room.
coworkers.
And he just sits down in the back.
Remember when his brother did that in China? And he was trying to like go through the wrong door.
Yeah, he's like sitting there. I've done that before, but you know, I'm not president, so.
It's funny because he is fat.
Nor should I love how they say like they try to make an excuse for him, like it's something about your schedule, but then he just goes and sits down in a chair like I ain't got nothing better to do. Fuck.
Yeah, he cleared the whole afternoon.
He's like, the Rotary Club invited me.
Club has added a 5th test, and before you run, I would invite all you to join us. I will gavel the meeting closed afterwards, ask Rotarians to stay on so we can conduct a little bit of business. So as Rotarians and members of this club, there are 5...
Rotarian sounds like a fucking Star Trek villain.
5 things that
Sounds
we
like
keep
an
in
alien
mind.
race.
I know, that's
Is
what
it
I'm
the
saying.
truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
This is almost religious sounding.
You know, they kicked off a presidential candidate just to let some nobody ramble on. Like, this guy's like, yeah, I upstaged this piece of shit. Like, that's what I mean, like, and he lets it happen.
Yeah, it's like, why would you do that? Why would you say, okay, yeah.
You know, if he was like a true leader and like presidential material, he'd be like,
In a moment, yeah.
He'd be like, fuck you, I'm still giving my speech. It's over when I'm done.
And not to mention, if the crowd was really into it, they'd be like, yeah, we don't want to hear that right now.
Yeah, the crowd would be like,
boo.
They'd be like, yeah, how dare you try to silence Jeb? But instead, everyone's like, yeah, you're done now. Go take your seat.
Yeah, go eat your fucking pudding or whatever.
Have a club sandwich. It's really good.
All right, we'll move on. Next one is Rubio saying rape is a terrible situation, but victims should have the baby.
He's only saying that because robots can't get pregnant.
It's a terrible situation.
Terrible.
And Christie on the issue of abortion because you don't support exceptions for rape and incest. And Jeb Bush also said this to CNN. I want to put that up. He said, it's a tough sell to tell a pro-life mother that her daughter has been raped, that she would just have to accept that as a sad fact. This is not an easy decision, but Mark will have to explain that position.
So, something Jeb Bush said.
Yeah.
It almost sounds better having George Stephanopoulos read it.
Yep.
What would you say to
Well, a couple of things. Number one, abortion to me is not a political issue. It's a human rights issue. And
Well, you're a politician, so you should probably stop talking about it. Since to you it's not a political issue and shit.
so if Jeb wants to make it a political issue, that's his right. For me,
it is a political issue. You're a fucking idiot.
It's whether you consider it a political issue or not, it is in America, so whatever.
it's not. Number two, I have supported laws that have exceptions. The 20-week abortion ban. If it's
But
passed,
that's not what you believe.
Well, first of all, I do require an exception for life of the mother because I'm pro-life. Number two, as I've said, if they pass a law in Congress that has exceptions, I'll sign it because I want to save lives. The broader point I've made, however, is I believe all human life is worthy of the protection of our laws. That's what I deeply and personally believe. And I'm not going to change my position.
Who the fuck who's been raped wants to carry like the baby to term and like raise the little rape baby?
You know what? You have no idea. It's so ironic that you say that.
I mean, I'm sure it happens, sure, but
because earlier I was I was watching a hangout that Brett Keane did, and he had Jesus Freak on there, and Jesus Freak like claimed that happens all the time.
That what happens all the time? Women
like Christian women that are raped end up carrying the pregnancy and keeping the baby, and it enriches their lives.
I mean, maybe that does for some people. Maybe
that's their decision.
But that should be like a personal decision. Like for me, this I can interpret it this way, and I see it as a positive coming out of a negative. But to try to just force that sensibility on everyone is fucking ridiculous. Because for some people, it's going to be extremely traumatic to carry a fucking rape baby to 9 months and then have to raise the fucking thing afterwards, or else give it up for adoption and just know it's out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. This whole rape exclusion thing is always just it's a softer position that kind of obfuscates the greater position, which is that it should be a choice. Like, we live in a country right now where like orphanages and fucking foster care programs are just overflowing with unwanted children. And the answer of the GOP is to just make that national law, that anytime somebody fucks and the condom breaks or something, and a kid comes out of it, that kid, unwanted though they may be, unprepared for parenthood though the parents may be, needs to be raised, needs to be brought up, needs to be put in a fucking orphanage where they're abused and moved from home to home their entire lives. Because those kids really come through with a great lease on life. They've got a bright future ahead of them.
Yeah, most of the time they do. They're usually because they started off so rough in life, it makes them super tough, and they always rise to become CEOs and big investment.
Well, you know what, Paul? You just don't
shit.
value human life like Marco Rubio does. This is a human rights issue. It's not a political issue, Paul. This is life, Paul. Do you want innocent lives to be ended?
I value human life enough to not force a child into a fucking horrible life. That could be prevented while they're still a little.
So all orphans have horrible lives then, Paul, huh? Is that what you're saying, Paul? Every orphan has never made anything of themselves. Never had a good life, Paul. This is despicable,
I guess
Paul.
that's true. Yeah, I am despicable. I'm a piece of shit.
How dare you say any of this?
On something that is so
this
deep
guy's still talking,
in
sorry.
me, in order to win an election.
So what do you say to that mom? Look her in the eye.
It's
What
a
do you
terrible
tell her?
situation. I mean, a crisis pregnancy, especially as a result of
Okay,
something
she already
as
knows it's a
horrifying
terrible
as that. I'm not telling you
situation. She don't need your dumb
I'm not
ass
here
telling her
saying it's
that.
an easy choice. It is a horrifying thing, what you've just described. It's heartbreaking. It is unimaginable, quite frankly.
Marco, you're not here saying it's an easy choice. You're saying you should remove any choice.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's even worse than saying it's an easy choice. That they shouldn't have a choice.
I'm deciding for you because my morals say this.
Hey, guys, but then they don't have a choice, so it's not even a hard decision. It's just keep the baby. There's no moral dilemma.
Yeah, it's true. He removes that horrible dilemma from their small female brains.
Yeah, in a way, he's really making it easier.
Oh, yeah. He's streamlining the process, y'all.
I get it. I really do, and that's why this issue is so difficult.
You really don't.
But I believe a human being, an unborn child, has a right to live,
Why do you believe
irrespective
that?
of the circumstances by which they were conceived. And I know that majority of Americans don't agree with me on that, and that's why any law that limits abortions that passes will almost certainly have exceptions, and I'll sign it with exceptions. But I personally believe that all human life is worthy of the protection of our laws.
What a faggot.
You know what isn't worthy of the protection of our laws, though? The mothers of those children. They're not worthy. Their lives don't matter.
No.
Shut your fucking feminist SJW mouth.
Fucking regressive leftist.
Quit being a regressive. You make it too easy, Paul. Too easy.
We've reached the halfway point, so now it's time for crazy people.
Yeah. Drizzle some crazy. Crazy people.
Fuck.
Shit.
Dude, every fucking time it gets you, man.
I watched one of his more recent videos. He's like, people make me look like a walrus.
A walrus?
Yeah, he keeps saying it's like
it's a fucking manatee.
How stupid can you be?
Oh my god.
How stupid can you be?
Keep get your finger on the pulse of what Brett Keane is about, Brett Keane.
You know, in Brett's Hangout, he has it on some other website other than YouTube or Google. Jesus Freak was in there, and Jesus Freak ended up like saying something like really personal that he later on ended up regretting saying, and he asked Brett if Brett would edit it out, and of course it wasn't edited out.
Of course not.
Oh, of course not.
What'd he say?
All right, people can go watch it for themselves.
I want to know though.
Well, fuck you. Go watch it.
Our audience wants to know.
Well, go watch it yourself.
Everyone
then.
wants to know.
Man.
You're a
Yeah,
monster,
what did
man.
did he let slip like fuck the darkies or something? Like what did he say?
No. It was like personal information about an illness that someone in his family has.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's not as juicy.
If it's not
Right.
pertaining to him,
That's why I wasn't
don't
gonna bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you had to do is tell me it's nothing salacious.
I told you.
We were hoping it was like he had a fucking bad hemorrhoid or something.
Yeah, I wish it was. I thought it was gonna be something like I have herpes or you know.
No.
Then it's kind of lame.
All right, so here's Brett Keane of this video that he took down. Oh, by the way, this video was made by Brett Keane under the Creative Commons license on YouTube, and we will be giving commentary throughout the video, and that is how we are altering it in a transformative way.
It's not fair to
We are
Brett.
offering commentary and criticism on this public
Okay, but
work.
look, it's not fair to Brett, so it's not allowed. He's the arbiter of copyright law in the U.S. now.
So this was like 48 hours ago when he demanded an apology within 24 hours.
Which is extortion, by the way. And interestingly enough, to say, hey guys, I demand that you give a public apology on the Drunken Peasants podcast, or I'm gonna file a frivolous lawsuit against you.
Here's our apology, Brett.
Yeah, there it is. That's extortion, Brett.
There's the apology right there.
You taking down the video, Brett, doesn't change that you uploaded it, Brett. It's still extortion. So,
it's
good
still
job,
around.
retard.
Here it is.
Is it extortion if there's no money?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello, ladies
Oh
and
yeah,
gentlemen. My name
and he's eating a big bowl of chili throughout this entire
This is the
video.
best.
Where Ben's head is too, so it looks like he's eating Ben's brain.
God TV Radio. Make sure you check out
Well,
my
he was
gaming
hungry,
channel.
TJ. Come on.
Games you love, and when you get an opportunity, check out all my other YouTube channels.
Water-headed
including my
idiots
brothers
you love.
I don't care.
and
Just
my
take a bite of
new
that
Movies
chili.
You Love channel.
Come on, Brett.
Oh yeah.
Is it spicy? Is it
Dude,
spicy?
somebody on Twitter, this is just an example of how other people's free time is the best thing. Somebody on Twitter literally edited out everything in this video except every bite of chili that Brett
I know.
takes.
Oh yeah, we have it.
It's fucking awesome.
We have them all.
That's beautiful.
I mean, ever since he told people not to use his videos, everyone's been using his videos.
You know what?
Well, that is the result. I mean, like, did he not expect that? Like, how does Brett
probably
Keane,
wants it.
after a decade on the internet? No, he doesn't. Is the thing. Like, he's genuinely too stupid to be able to predict that if he makes a video saying, I got a magic license that protects me from fair use and everybody who...
But do you really believe that that's what he honestly believes?
I think that in his mind, we're so dumb, they'd be like, oh shit, guys, looks like Brett Keane's got the upper hand now.
I always thought he was just like trying to
wife.
manipulate us or something.
I hate to shit on Ben's idea of TJ and I's relationship, but I disagree, TJ. He knows full well what he's doing is complete and utter bullshit. He's done it before. He knows that he has absolutely no right to flag
that's what
or
I'm saying.
DMCA a single fucking video. He understands fair use.
So
he just chooses to try and use it to silence critique.
It's true. And here's the point of the video where he talks about the chili that he's eating, and then he bitches about how there's no cheese in it.
Is he bitching or is he just
or maybe he is just commenting.
Not enough sour cream and
Let's see what
cheese.
you
Yeah.
think. What does it sound like?
Fantastic bowl of chili.
Oh, God.
No cheese.
Yeah, that does sound like a complaint.
Yeah, no
It
cheese.
is.
Darn.
Damn it!
I'm
Of
looking
all
at
the
you,
foods,
Dorn. No
too.
cheese in the chili, Dorn. What did I tell you about cheese in the chili, Dorn?
No, he just looked down. He's like, no cheese.
He made a little tally mark in his like beat Dorn once this reaches 10 book that he's got. You know, like
I have to
transgression
agree.
number 8, Dorn.
I don't
You're on
normally agree with your
transgression
shit.
number 8.
But it was like, it really was like, there's like he checked something in his mind, like, I'm gonna beat this bitch now. She didn't fucking put the cheese in.
Well, somebody ended up tweeting.
There was cheese in it, Brett. You know I don't consider white cheese cheese. Only yellow cheese is cheese.
This particular clip of the Drunken Peasants, where they're sitting there
that's
saying
much
they're going
better.
to sue me for.
Particular.
Yeah, we said that if you file one of those false DMCAs against us and it goes through, then we're going to sue you.
Yeah, we're gonna sue you.
For the revenue that we will lose as a result of that. So, yeah.
Supposedly, allegedly, a false DMCA. Thing is, I never said in any of my videos, according to your accusation, never said anything about false flagging anybody.
Of course, why would you say that you're going to false flag?
I never said I was gonna rob the bank.
Right.
You know, give me a fucking break.
Yeah, there's a video of you robbing the bank, but your defense is, no one ever heard me say I was gonna rob the bank. It's like, what? Are you fucking retarded?
moron.
Well, you remember
That's
his.
what I'm saying. He doesn't know. He's just fucking dumb.
I don't know.
Come
But
on.
you know what? His way around that was, oh, it's gonna be my licensing company. And then it's like, what are you talking about? The YouTube license, which you select yourself. You know, give me a fucking break. He has to obviously he has to make a determination when he puts his videos up, and you have to choose Creative Commons. Because most videos have the standard YouTube license, so he's making an active choice to let his works be reused.
Wait, does he think Creative Commons is the crazy license he's got that prevents all this stuff from happening?
Yeah, the idea that an organization named Creative Commons, alluding to the fact that you're putting your work out there in a common area to be used and reused by people, is somehow a protection against critique. It's absurd.
Oh my fucking god.
In my video, I stated that my videos are copyrighted, which means that, let's say the Drunken Peasants decided to grab one of the new songs by Megadeth. Or maybe you decide you want to go classic Megadeth, right?
No, it's not the same. It's not the same if we just take a song and play it.
Yeah, we're not going to do that anyways. That's not what this show is even about.
Yeah, like music is the one thing we try to avoid.
Brett's acting like what we do here on the show is just take his video whole cloth and show it to the audience, as if we would force our audience to sit through 10 minutes of this blubbering moron eating chili and bitching about his Creative Commons license. It's absurd. Like we play about the first 2 or 3 minutes of your videos, Brett, and then we shit on them and we criticize them, and then we move on to the next person, just like we do for everybody. It's just absurd, man.
No, he gets special treatment. You know what? This is like the greatest thing. Like, someone should make this, because I want a Brett Keane meme. I don't care what the picture of his face is, but it has to be perfect in all ways. But I blocked him on Twitter like forever ago, and right after I blocked him, he started accusing me of stalking him. So I want a picture of Brett Keane's face with above it saying, like, "Amazing Atheist blocked me on Twitter," and then on the bottom it says, "Amazing Atheist is stalking me." Like, because that's the level of ridiculousness we're dealing with here.
You want to play the entire track of Megadeth, Peace Sells, but who's buying? Maybe just half of the song. Well, all of a sudden, you find out that your live show goes down. At the end of the thing, you get a copyright strike. Why? Because you sat there and played a copyright song. Well,
okay, but that analogy doesn't work on any level, because we don't just play your videos whole cloth. We comment on them constantly. Like, see how many times we've stopped this video and added our own content to it that's related tangentially to what you've said?
It's unfair that, and it makes Brett look bad, TJ. It makes him look bad.
Anything that's mean to me is against the law.
Why do you think they call it fair use, Amazing Atheist? It's not fair that you criticize me.
It's not fair that you use me.
Videos are digitally copyrighted. So what ends up hitting
Everyone has a copyright.
company along with
You
YouTube.
stupid fuck.
YouTube ensures that digital owners and copyright owners, their stuff is protected. Sure, you have fair use. You're allowed to criticize. You're allowed to say constructive things.
No, it does not have to be constructive.
Show me the part in fair use law where it says the criticism has to be constructive at all.
It doesn't say it.
Where does it say it? Brett, I'll tell you what. Give me the fucking paragraph, line, subsection, little letter D. I don't give a fuck. Tell me where it is. Tell me where it is, Brett.
Paul, by the way, I heard that you asked to get in contact with Brett's lawyer, so your attorney could contact him, right?
Well, immediately when because he sent me a message on Twitter, I think it was 4 or 5 days ago, 6 days ago maybe, and he was like, I just reported you to the police and a lawyer. You're done, Paul Zigo. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you go ahead and forward me that police report number and your lawyer's contact info so I can forward that on to my lawyer and let's get the ball rolling. Hasn't talked to me since. In fact, he blocked me today. So I guess that's...
Drunken Peasants was blocked on Twitter today also.
Paul, you're stalking him. Stop it.
He's stalking us back by blocking us like that, dude.
Amazing
Stalking
atheist.
is blocking. Blocking is stalking. Sorry,
Amazing
go ahead.
Atheist, you're stalking me. By the way, check out my popular videos on my channel. Amazing Atheist is a pedophile. Amazing Atheist is a scam artist, just like his dad. Amazing Atheist destroyed everybody's lives. Amazing Atheist rams bananas up people's ass. Like, he's absurd. His entire channel is devoted to you and tangentially the Drunken Peasants.
But
and
it's
yet
God
we're the ones
TV
stalking
radio,
him.
though. It's God TV radio, though. It's about God and it's TV and radio.
So I am God, because it's about me.
You're allowed to do something if it's educational.
I've drawn that conclusion
You're also
before.
allowed to sit there and be funny in a parody. But parody doesn't involve things like libel or slander.
Oh, he got it right this time.
you
It wasn't
corrected yourself.
liability.
Libel.
But this is not libel or slander.
Brett Keane is a learning machine.
Or talking about someone's children or making fun of their disability.
Actually, what you've done in a lot of your videos is slander.
Yeah, it is. And but it doesn't matter. I don't care. No one listens anyway. Family Guy. Have you ever seen like Family Guy or American Dad or like South Park or any of these shows? Have you noticed that they're totally allowed to quote unquote slander and libel people? Like, it's because everyone knows it's a fucking parody. It's a joke.
Tom Cruise won't come out of the closet.
Yeah, Kanye West loves fish sticks.
Yeah.
No, come on.
If Brett Keane was just a normal dude living a quiet life somewhere, no online presence, and we just found him in the phone book and we're like, let's call this fucking guy and call him a water-headed moron. Like, that would be one thing. Brett, you're a public figure. You put your videos out publicly under a Creative Commons license, open to critique and reuse. What don't you understand, Brett? Don't be absurd.
Okay, but you know what, Paul? You irrationally called him too, Paul, on his
My favorite
publicly
part
available
about
number, which you asked someone, which you asked people to call him.
You don't get to sit there and make accusations such as domestic abuse, claiming that I whoop up on my
You have a police record that indicates domestic abuse. I'm just quickly adding that.
wife and all that, and then make fun of the way she looks and the way she sounds, and then
Maybe some people are new to Brett Keane. You don't know.
do that. That's not parody. That's actually slander. If you get knocked down, it'll be by YouTube and copyright company, not me. So you can't hold me responsible.
The
But let me tell you
magic
what I can
company
do.
that's going to do all your work for you.
Copyright company.
You recorded yourself on video. You and Paul Zigo and your brother and Ben, Rey Mysterio. You guys recorded yourself
619.
putting my real phone number up on your video several times.
Oh my God, you are so fucking dishonest. It's incredible. You put your own number up in a bunch of shit ton of your videos. So yeah.
And ask people to call you.
And when we played those videos, the number was right there for anyone to see.
And you know what? We probably would have talked to you for a while. You probably could have made a video out of it. Got lots of view situations.
You know what? You know what the best part about all of this? Well, there's two really good things about this. Number one, it's not even his home phone number. I don't know that people don't realize this. It's a Google Voice number.
Yes.
That he has forwarded through to his home phone number. So to stop the quote unquote harassing phone calls, Brett has 2 steps he needs to take.
Change
Number one,
the number.
Stop just delete the fucking Google Voice number so it stops forwarding to your actual phone number, which nobody has, Brett. Nobody wants to have. And number 2, take the fucking Google Voice number down off of your videos so people stop calling it. Quit saying at the end of your videos, if you want to get a hold of me, follow me on Twitter or just call my number. Links are in the description. Like, you can't say call me anytime you want if you want to talk, unless you're Paul Zigo. Like, that doesn't work that way, Brett, number 1. Number 2, and this is the best part. Brett forgets that we didn't, like, he talks later in this video about how we called him while we were in LA, right? And we did 2 or 3 times. We called him. The problem is that, and Brett talks about in this video too, how he felt threatened. Brett felt so threatened that he, because we were using Beyond Fear's temporary SIM card down in LA to call him, because none of us wanted Brett Keane to have our actual phone numbers. Surprise, surprise. And he texted us back, called us back, left several voicemails, all of which we still have, by the way. Beyond Fear still has that little SIM card. So we have voicemails from Brett going, "Oh, sorry I missed your call, Paul Zigo. Sure would like to call you back. Go ahead and call me back anytime, buddy. We'll talk tomorrow." So Brett talks about how he felt threatened. I know when I feel threatened by somebody, the first thing I do is call him back and try and follow up on the phone call.
Yeah, man. Call me anytime. We'll get in touch soon.
Inciting your audience to call me up and violently and aggressively, verbally abusing me all over. I've got all those recordings. Every one of the videos where you put my number up, I have them downloaded. I have the video downloaded of you.
They're your own videos.
Yeah.
What?
We put
Man, you know what?
Yeah.
We're going up against like fucking Sherlock Holmes, dude. Like no detail escapes this fucking motherfucker right here. Like, really? This is like the best you could do is the number you fucking put up yourself and ask people to call you. That's your fucking evidence. Which Paul just fucking completely destroyed your argument on that.
We're clearly dealing with the Johnny Cochran of YouTube. He's clearly Perry Mason, this guy. He's just the lawyer of all lawyers, man.
This is a lawyer situation.
Passing me a video that you still have up on your own channel. You guys are sitting there smoking weed and getting drunk and calling another person's residence at their home. You refer to me as a nigger. Then after you guys do that, and before that, you guys made phone calls to my home over and over.
What's wrong? Why is it so insulting to be called an African American?
It's funny.
Brett?
He's saying we called him over and over. We called him like once a day, spread out over. Yeah. So
and the only reason I called him back is because he left a message on Beyond Fear's phone at 3:30 in the morning. Which, by the way, Brett, I don't know how that looks. An old man like yourself calling a 22-year-old girl at 3:30 in the morning.
It was 3:30 in the morning, California time.
California time. So that must have been like
it was 5.
Masturbation situation.
It was 5.
Maybe he was just up early. Come on, Brett Keane rises with the sun.
Going for his morning jog.
Yeah, morning jog on his way to the gym to pump iron.
Yeah.
Over and over, leaving long, drawn out, babbling,
the very thought of that just offends me.
nasty shit.
Fuck.
The phone number tells me, according to the device I have plugged in, that one of the calls were made in
Why are
California.
you fucking eating and making a video at the same fucking
And the
time?
penal code, according to California, states that if you make harassing calls and the victim feels like they are threatened, which I felt threatened, you can do up to 5 to 10 years in prison and pay $250,000.
Oh, we're so scared.
No.
Dude, I know it'll never happen because Brett Keane's a dunce, but if this actually does go to trial, I'm gonna fucking enjoy the part of the trial where Brett Keane goes up there and says, "I felt threatened," and then the lawyer representing us goes, "Okay, let's go ahead and play this voicemail. Hey, Paul Zigo, sorry I missed your call, Paul. Hey, I'd love to talk. Hey, trust me, man, I have no problem with you and TJ. I'd love to talk to you guys. Why don't you go ahead and try and call me back tomorrow? I'll make sure I answer. All right, Paul Zigo, take care." Yeah, you felt real threatened, Brett.
That means that you could spend just as much time in prison as your father did, TJ, for the kind of crap he pulled on people, the manipulation, bullying, diploma mills, all that.
That's not what happened. He got in trouble for taxes.
It's tax evasion and mail fraud. Is what it is.
So it had nothing to do with
conspiracy to commit it.
Scams or anything like that.
Oh yeah, it wasn't even mail fraud. It was like conspiracy to commit mail fraud or something like that.
Correct.
Of course, $250,000 That ain't nothing compared to the $35 million that Mr. Kirk had to pay back people, right?
That
What?
didn't happen.
No.
My dad never had to pay money
He
back.
had,
to
he had
anybody.
assets in that amount that I believe they were seized.
Yeah, they were seized by the government. They weren't like given back to some people. I mean, like, if anything, the government viewed the people who were buying these degrees as complicit in a scam for employers.
Like father, like son, TJ.
Wait a minute. He said Mr. Kirk. Now, did your dad have a YouTube channel where he publicly revealed his last name? Is Brett doxing your father here on the Brett? Stop doxing people, Brett.
Yeah, you're
Stop
right.
doxing,
Attacking your family.
Attacking my family.
Hashtag doxed by Brett.
So you get what I'm saying? You called my residence. You recorded doing it many times.
Wrong.
I got the video up showing everybody that you called many times. Calling me a nigger.
3
Making
times.
racial comments.
Calling me
now
a
let's think
nigger.
about this. You get in court.
If you were actually black, you might have like something of a case there, but you're not, so you don't.
You know what the funny thing is that none of us ever called Brett Keane a nigger. You were sitting on the couch next to me, and I was like, look, I'm sitting here with TJ the Amazing Atheist. TJ, say something. And TJ was like, nigger. That was it. Like, we didn't call Brett a nigger. Whatever.
Yeah, and the only reason I said it is because he had that whole video he played where it was like, he had that like de-scrambled audio. He's like, Amazing Atheist sent me this cloaked audio or whatever with all these effects
Man,
on
fuck this dude. You know what I want to say, Brett? It's like,
and that was there's a bunch of racial epithets in there. and
Shut
shit.
up. Okay, you keep attacking my fucking father, Brett. Actually, I do take some offenses. Let me just say something.
Attacking your family.
He is.
He's literally attacking your family.
He is. Let me just say this. Even my dad was a total scammer, did all that shit, which I don't really know the truth. I was too fucking young. But even if he did, at least he had a fucking life.
You were part of it, Scotty.
And did something with his fucking life. At least he had $35 million to be seized, you fucking do-nothing fucking manatee piece of shit. Why don't you go fuck yourself? What have you fucking done? You're literally making a video while you lie and fucking squalor, shoving fucking chili, and just remarking, your only remark in life is, oh, there's no fucking cheese. Fuck you, bitch!
Well, to make you feel a little better, Scotty, just remember that no matter what he says about your daddy, his daddy was a fucking deadbeat piece of shit. A child support dodging motherfucker, man.
Like father, like son, unless it's about Brett Keane.
Yeah. He's the exception.
You have a judge listening to these sound bites of you guys doing what you did, watching the video that you guys produced with you doing it.
So if all this is true, like, so did your lawyer like okay you taking all this information on the internet to gloat about what you've done? That sounds like something like a lawyer would advise to me.
Oh, they told him he had an open and shut case, so he didn't
They just
have
told
to
him,
worry
yeah,
about that.
go ahead and get on the internet and gloat about it, Brett.
That's the last advice your lawyer would give you.
He also says that he'll show the judge in court that we all do drugs, and the judge is gonna like immediately.
Good.
It's like
seize them.
They do it all, Brett. We're waiting, bitch. We so fucking scared, Brett. I'm telling you, I'm terrified right now, Brett. Go ahead and do it.
Like, you notice how the police don't just like raid Willie Nelson or Snoop Dogg's house? It's like, you know there's pot in there. It's like,
well, I mean, like a judge, it's totally irrelevant to the case that we would have, Brett. I mean, the judge might be like, oh, okay, that's interesting, but it has nothing to do with you claiming that you're going to sue us or press charges against us.
They made phone calls to me.
Right.
The number that I give out openly on my videos, asking people to call, and then I returned those phone calls and asked them to call me again. Threats.
He's never specific about like what he says he's going to charge us. I'm thinking like you can't press. I mean, you can't like really press charges against.
Brett Keane is the assistant.
Dude, he's
DA,
thinking about sending us a fucking bill. That's what he wants.
Assistant DA of Festus, Missouri, man.
Because you know what, I wouldn't be surprised if we actually like acted like we were scared. Like how much money we have to give you to make this go away.
I thought about doing it, man. I thought about writing Brett like, Brett, man, this shit's gone too far. What I gotta do to make it stop, man? I'll do anything. I'm
offer him
sorry,
some
man.
fucking money. Like, I'll give you
I was
$100.
just joking, dude. You know, like
some kitty litter too.
How about I send you like $500 and let bygones be bygones, man?
Just buy him everything on his Amazon wish.
Yeah, we'll buy it all.
On top of it,
Hey, how are you going to pay that lawyer, Brett? You're going to have to cut way back on that kitty litter now to get that lawyer fee in there.
It's okay. Dorn ate the cat.
in which you post my content into your videos, insulting the living shit out of me and inciting an audience to make harassing calls towards me.
No.
Then lying and claiming that I'm
They
false flagging
incited a
people,
riot.
false DMCAing people. That's slander. That's libel. And it's
You did
There's
false
a video
DMCA people.
of you on YouTube, Brett. A video of you literally false flagging Coughlin's channel thousands of times, and you talking about how I'm gonna flag every video in your whole channel situation, Coughlin, and it's a screen cap of you doing it. So this idea that we're like slandering you by claiming that you false flag videos is absurd.
Okay, look
Once
at the
again,
legal
that-
definitions of this word.
Yeah, and I mean, not only that, like, there's 5 or 6 people right now with channels that are fighting Brett Keane DMCA's.
That wasn't him, though. That was the company, remember?
Oh, yeah, Creative
It's
Commons
the
went out there.
company!
Creative Commons is like, we need to silence dissent against Brett Keane on the internet as our top priority, even though that's antithetical to the goals of why we exist. I mean, fuck! Jesus fucking Christ!
also inciting an audience to come over and try to destroy my channel on your behalf. You don't have a fucking chance. Okay? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. Because I've already been told by the lawyer that I've got a great case.
You know what, guys?
Rock solid case.
We gotta
dude.
set up a GoFundMe right now, audience.
Legal defense
We need a
fund.
legal defense
Yeah.
fund, please.
Like,
We're
it's
so
gonna be
scared.
absurd. Like, if he does actually go through with this lawsuit, it's going to be hilarious. Like, every point he brings up in court, there's going to be a video by him completely contradicting what he's saying. He's going to be like, they claim I false flag videos. Well, here's a video of Brett Keane going, here, I'm going to false flag some fucking videos. They allege that I have domestic abuse charges against me. Well, here's the domestic abuse charges against you, Brett. It's absurd. It's all public fucking domain, dude.
This is just the theater of
And
Brett
they put
Keane.
up
The
my
theater of
number
Brett
that I put up myself. It's like,
All I have to do is
oh
go
wow,
through with
what a
charging
damning
ass.
case.
I've been pondering this. I'm going to give you a chance to do something. I'm going to give you a week. I have up to 6 months to sit there and charge you.
Charge us.
We're
like,
so scared, Brett.
By the way, I want to point out real quick. Sorry, Ben. Real quick, another Brett Keaneism that flies under the radar a lot. Sit there. Listen to how many times Brett says "sit there" in a video. I sit there. You sit there and make accusations about me. I'm gonna sit there and call a lawyer, and then I'm gonna sit there and talk to Dorn, and she's gonna come and she's gonna testify about how you guys sat there and called her a fat manatee, and then I'm gonna sit there and show him how you call my kids waterheads when my daughter just sits there and she has a it's
give you one
like that's another good one.
Week to make a video and give me a public apology to my wife and my children and myself.
No.
If you don't, I'm going to charge you. And then you're going to have the cops come to your damn.
All right, here's
your apology.
and then he said, and then you're gonna have
Right
the cops
fucking
come to
there.
your house. It's like, really?
Brett, I apologize that you exist. I apologize that you're so stupid that you can't see what a PR nightmare this kind of video is.
Does
until you get the reaction and then are forced to take it down. Sorry, Ben, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Does he think he's a judge or something? Like he can issue a warrant for our arrest? That's what it sounds like. He's like, I'm gonna charge you. It's
Yeah,
like,
do you think that chili spoon is a gavel?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah. Like, Brett, even if you do bring suit, no cops are going to come take anybody away. We're going to get a court date in whatever state, whatever jurisdiction you figure out to sue us in, whether it's California where we made the calls or Ohio or wherever, like, we're going to have a court date, but there's going to be no cops busting down anybody's door, Brett.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's happening, Paul. Be afraid.
It's gonna be like, his father was a known scammer.
Oh man, you'll get the SWAT team.
Oh yeah.
Paul's going to have the cops come to his home. And you're going to be arrested. Then you get to go to court as an atheist who is a drug addict on video and audio and try to explain why it is that you constantly need to sit there and make harassing calls to a Christian.
This is
To a
the
God-believer.
greatest part of the video. This flies so far under the radar. Brett is sitting here, like, he's talking about, this is the merits of his case are such that he's literally relying on the fact that this judge, whatever judge it is, will probably be a Christian. And he's going to have, like, something against atheists. He's going to be like, you're an atheist and you use marijuana. Do you really think a judge is going to sit and listen to what you have to say? Like, come on, Brett. Like, if you have to rely on stupid shit like that, like the bigotry of a judge, to add some kind of merit to your fucking case, Brett, what does that tell you?
Yeah, what if you don't get that judge?
Dude, this is a fucking case that never comes. It's not gonna fucking happen.
Well, I mean, Brett's already taken this video down, dude. I mean, like, he obviously doesn't stand by this shit.
Let me ask you a question, Brett. If I'm an atheist and I'm crossing the street in a crosswalk and a Christian runs over me, right, and breaks both of my legs, am I going to have problems suing that Christian for damages because I'm an atheist? Is the judge going to be like, well, clearly this Christian did run over your legs, but you're on video smoking marijuana and you don't believe in God, so you know what? Counterclaim denied, and I'm actually going to award court fees to the guy that ran over you. Are you absurd, Brett? Like, what are you fucking on, man?
He's on Dorn's chili, dude.
Oh yeah, he's high on that chili.
Dude, the police are coming for you, Paul.
Dorn's chili scrambles up your mind, man.
It needs more cheese.
It's that good, though.
Family and children. You really think that's going to go well for you?
Yeah.
Your father thought that he was going to get away with the bullshit he was doing. It didn't work out so well for him, did it?
Oh.
You really want this?
Low blow.
I'm going to ask you right now for a public apology.
All right.
Shit,
Brett,
man.
once again, I apologize that you exist. I apologize for, like, the monumental stupidity that you've spewed here in this video, which, I mean, I don't know. We've probably gotten, like, what, 40 minutes of gold out of this by now? I don't even know how long we've been talking about Brett.
Dude, I apologize that I
Well, it's at
exist
least
in the
20 or
same
30.
time as you,
fast.
Brett. I apologize for that. That like, I have
Yeah,
that knowledge.
I'm going to stop short of even jokingly apologizing to you, Brett. I'm just going to reiterate for you to send the police report number and your lawyer's contact information to me via Twitter or email or on YouTube so that I can get my lawyer to call your lawyer and we get the ball rolling on this action. Because I'd love to do it, Brett. I'd love to do
and
it.
fuck you and fuck Dorn and fuck your water-headed idiot children.
Yeah?
There you go.
The end.
All right. Which one are we going to do?
Whichever one you want, Ben.
I'm going to go take a leak real quick. I'll be right back.
Do it.
Hey, here are 5 stupid things I've noticed about Islamophobia. It's poorly named. I'm referring to the subject of this video as Islamophobia because that has become the most commonly used term for the unjustified and irrational fear, hatred, and or vilification of Muslims. It's also been used to describe the double standards we often use when thinking or talking about Muslims and Islam.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not pouncing on anything yet. I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen
Better
here.
term might be anti-Muslim bigotry, and in fact, that is the preferred term of many folks, Muslim and...
Well, that's kind of a longer, more ungainly term. I mean, we already kind of have a precedent for doing this phobia thing.
Super descriptive.
I mean, we already use homophobic and transphobic and other things, so Islamophobic is fine. You could be Christianophobic or atheist-phobic, I guess. I don't know. Those aren't like popular terms. I mean, like, I think that some of the fear of Islam is justified. I don't think that,
No, it's totally irrational. It makes no sense.
I don't think it should be considered bigotry to notice that these people, like people who belong to this religion, have a lot of really extreme beliefs and are very comfortable with violence on a large scale. Not all of them, of course, but just like a big solid chunk. So.
You're racist, TJ.
Yeah, that's gross. That's racist. It should be called anti-Muslim bigotry.
Yeah, even though that makes no sense, but yeah, that's fine.
And I'm sure that anybody who says anything about Islam whatsoever...
Yeah, the real problem in the world is not the crazy Muslim extremists. It's really the people that are speaking up or saying anything about it. They're actually the problem.
Yeah, man. Anyone who actually talks about that is the real villain.
Steve Shives is looking real haggard lately. Have you noticed? Like, look at this guy.
It's because he
Look at the big
lives with a
dark
fucking
circles under his
evil
eyes.
succubus that, like, drains him of his, like, vitality on a daily basis. Have you seen, like, what she does to him? Like, he's talking about... She's sitting there talking about, like, your book collection is very problematic. It's like, Jesus Christ, you've shacked up with, like, some Orwellian demon that wants to control your very existence.
Like, look at the way his lips blend into his face. Isn't that like a sign of fucking dehydration when your lips aren't colored? Like, is she denying him water until he makes this video?
Only liquid you get is what you take from my vagina.
Non-Muslim alike, but no matter what you call it, prejudice against Muslims and their religion...
He also looks really gaunt.
Yeah, he does.
Like, does he have cancer or something? Maybe we shouldn't be talking about him.
Is
I don't know. He just looks like he hasn't slept in a
harmful,
week.
and very, very real.
He's so troubled by Islamophobia, dude. I'm sorry, anti-Muslim bigotry. He can't sleep.
And that last bit is an important one to remind people of when discussing Islamophobia, because its existence is frequently denied. Islamophobia is easy to see and unfortunately quite.
I mean, I don't see how you could deny it. I mean, there's definitely people out there who are fucking anti-Muslim to like crazy extreme, like fucking kill all the Muslims. Like that's definitely Islamophobic. I mean, I don't see how you could deny it.
I wouldn't really say it's a common point of view, though.
No, I mean, it's not that common. I mean, there's definitely...
It's not unheard of.
There's definitely those people that go around like, we should just nuke the whole Middle East. Put a stop to all that shit. Paul, unless you're drinking more. When you were down here, I couldn't even get you to drink. Now you're just like, glug, glug, glug. Is it because you can't find no green?
Yeah, man, I can't get no green here, man. I have a few lines, but it's taken me a while to find a guy. I'm about to stand on a corner somewhere with like a sign that says, "Do you know a guy?" or something. Like I don't know what else to do.
Do you know a guy? I don't know. You might be sending the wrong message there.
Commonplace in our culture. It exists across a wide spectrum, from violent hate crimes committed against Muslims to the ways in which many of us think and talk about Muslims and their religion. And yet there are still those who insist with apparent conviction, despite all evidence to the contrary, that Islamophobia doesn't exist, that it's an invented term referring to a non-existent problem.
That's really funny because you guys deny that there actually is any problem with Islam. You always claim, oh, those are people that have perverted the religion. They're not really true Muslims, so there's no problem with Islam at all. Or it's like very church, like, oh, well, there's some conservative beliefs, and stuff like that. But it's no big deal because we just have to understand they're a different culture.
Yeah, I mean, like, if Steve Shives made the kind of videos he made against Christianity towards Islam, he would be Islamophobic under his very own fucking definition, and that's the truly ironic and sad thing.
These folks resort to pedantic deconstructions of the term itself, insisting that Islamophobia means fear of Islam, but I just think Islam is false. I'm not afraid of it. Others rely on...
Well, so you're literally saying that people who just think Islam is false but aren't afraid of it, you're saying that they are Islamophobic?
Yes.
So you think Islam is true? Are you a Muslim now? I'm kind of confused. You think Islam is false, right?
The already trite excuse of Islam isn't a race. Right, of course.
It's not.
It's not. It's a religion.
So, yeah, once again...
Are you talking about Muslims? The adherents of Islam? Is that what you're going for, sir?
We have a bunch of black Muslims here. And not the Nation of Islam, but like... Somalis, yeah.
I wish we had some Nation of Islam, man.
Oh, well, if you go up north, because the Nation of Islam started in Detroit, so there's like a lot of them like up in Michigan.
Yeah, me and Louis Farrakhan are pen pals, so...
Because
that'd be hilarious.
Stereotyping and mistreating people on the basis of their religion is perfectly fine. Isn't that how that works? But by far the most common form of Islamophobia denial is this next one. It's disguised as legitimate criticism.
Oh, it's disguised as legitimate criticism.
It's not itself legitimate criticism, it's just hatred.
It looks like a legitimate criticism, and when you put it up to scrutiny, it seems as if it's legitimate criticism based on logical deduction and stuff, but we all know it's really,
not according
bigotry and stuff.
Not according to these SJWs. It's really just it's hate speech. It's an attack.
And just real quick, earlier on, he said that some people treat Islamophobia like it's a made-up term. It is. Here, according to this according to Wikipedia, it entered common English usage in 1997. So somebody made it up. Steve?
Yeah, maybe someone made up every term at some point.
I guess so.
I have nothing against Muslim people.
Like Shakespeare invented like 800 words or some shit.
I am criticizing Islam, the religion, and its ideas. I have to be able to criticize bad ideas, don't I?
Yeah.
This is the mantra of many Islamophobes, or perhaps I should call them anti-Muslim bigots.
Wow.
Anybody that critiques Islam or has a problem with the tenets of Islam is an Islamophobe. That's the way it is.
Yes.
And if you're criticizing anything about the Muslim faith, you're just couching your criticism. You're using your criticism as a front for your deeply held bigotry and Islamophobia.
Okay, so here's like the part I don't get. So Steve Shives is not a Muslim. He is an atheist. He does not believe in Islam. So how is it that you don't believe in an ideology yet have no criticisms of it? That doesn't make sense. There's a reason you're not part of it.
He respects their beliefs.
I mean, even if you respect the beliefs, you still have to have some criticism. Otherwise, you would, if you were just like, wow, this philosophy is flawless. Of course you would embrace it at that point.
You know, it's flawless. It's just he has a different philosophy. That's all it is. Both philosophies are probably right.
Like he's making a self-defeating fucking argument here.
And the thing is, there is such a thing.
His philosophy is that the God of Islam doesn't fucking exist. Is that Islamophobic, Steve?
It is.
It is.
For you to
Steve
assert that you
Shives
don't
is
believe
Islamophobic.
Steve,
any of the three
billions
people
of-
left, that haven't been blocked by Steve Shives, let him know that he's Islamophobic.
billions of Muslims all over the world, Steve, believe deeply, spiritually, fundamentally in their hearts that Allah created the earth. And you don't believe that, Steve. How dare you, erase the experiences of billions of hardworking Muslims? You Islamophobic, bigoted piece of shit.
You're an anti-Muslim bigot, Steve Shives.
As legitimate
No wonder you can't sleep at night.
criticism of Islam. Of course there is. Like every other religion ever invented by humans, Islam is fair game. Its arguments can be countered, its claims can be refuted, and
But anyone who actually does that, you call an Islamophobe, so...
and cultures it has influenced can be rebuked for their excesses and abuses. The insidious thing about Islamophobia is that many of those who practice it will insist that they are actually engaging in legitimate criticism of Islam. And
Who's the arbiter of what? Who's the arbiter, Steve, of what criticism is legitimate?
Of course.
The SJWs.
Steve, well, actually, no. Steve isn't. Steve's wife.
Steve's
is.
girlfriend is, Or his wife, girlfriend. What is she? Whatever she is. The she demon that he allows to siphon away
overseer,
his
you mean?
vitality and energy.
I would say she
is
qualifies
the
as
final
overseer.
authority. Honey, is this criticism of Islam okay? No, that is anti-Muslim bigotry. Burn it and never speak of it again.
sometimes that pretense can be very convincing. Islamophobia isn't always practiced by angry, blatant, foaming at the mouth bigots. Those are easy to spot. But in addition to them, it's practiced by people who ought to know better, including, I'm sad to say, some of the most prominent public figures of the atheist movement. My fellow atheists can be some of the most stubborn of all Islamophobes because they don't see double standards and vilification. They see an extension of their quite rational rejection of religion in general. Never mind that here in the U.S. at least, Christianity as a whole is not implicated when someone cites their Christian beliefs as justification for some horrible act of violence. Or
What? Yeah, it is all the time. What are you talking about, Steve? What? Christianity as a whole is never implicated? What are you fucking talking about? Yes, it is.
He was just talking about the atheist critique of Islam. Like, atheists don't fucking rally behind, like when some crazy Christian goes and shoots up a fucking abortion clinic, like atheists aren't like, see, this is fucking Christianity, this is what it leads to. Like they don't give the same critique. The problem is, Steve, is that Islam gives us a lot more opportunity to make that criticism than Christianity does. There are a lot more Muslims out there blowing people up than there are Christians.
Sure the fuck does.
Paul, it's offensive that you're observing reality and reporting back what you see. I find that to be offensive.
Paul, we're going to give you a list of approved criticisms of Islam, and then you'll know where the line is.
murder.
Yeah, I'm waiting
there
for
are not
Steve
calls
to release that video where he
alter
tells me
security
exactly what I'm
measures
allowed to say
to
about
protect us from Christian terrorists. In fact, we hardly ever refer to such people as terrorists.
Always,
okay, so-
always.
Is
Every
there-
time somebody with a Christian background or a Christian motive shoots up a fucking
they're not
school
terrorists,
or shoots
though.
up a we call them terrorists though. We call I do. Most of the atheist community that I know isn't shy at all about saying Christian terrorism.
But it's
they
not
present an opportunity.
is Christian terrorism on the same level as Islamic terrorism? No,
not even close.
It's not even a contest. So I mean, like, what a false fucking dichotomy. It's like, you know, I mean, like, I mean, Christianity's been violent through the ages. We're not talking about the ages. We're talking about now. And yeah, there's still some fucking, I'm sure there's still some Christian violence going on. And of course, I think that their Bible is full of reprehensible teachings and shit.
It pales in comparison.
But, like, there's not, like, giant, you know, evil, like, Christian organizations beheading people and shit right now, or doing car bombings or suicide bombings and shit. Like, that just doesn't happen, at least not as much. At least not as much.
Right.
It's understood, even by those of us who hold it to be false, that Christianity is a religion of great ideological and theological diversity, and it would be unfair to judge the whole by its angriest and most regressive members. Yet all too often we fail to treat Islam and Muslims the same way.
It's funny to hear Steve Shives use the word regressive, because I've heard him be called a regressive many times.
By who, Ben? Who's calling Steve Shives a regressive, Ben?
Who do you think?
This is
He
already
who shall not be named.
Well, it's stupid to even say this, because no one is sitting there saying every single Muslim is bad. I mean, maybe a small minority of people, but most rational people are sitting there going, yeah, it's obviously there's some Muslims that don't want to do that. That's pretty obvious. They just want to live normal lives, and there's other ones that, in large numbers for some reason, don't want to. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, but that's definitely happening.
I mean, look, there's no exact estimate, but it's like probably at least 10 to 25% of Muslims are Islamists, which I've looked up the meaning of that word recently. It is a real word.
Islamism.
Islamism, yeah.
It's a fun word to say.
It is a fun word. Islamism. But what it means is that basically you're not only a Muslim, but you want Islam imposed on the entire world. Anywhere you go, you spread Islam. That's the objective. A giant Muslim caliphate and shit.
I mean, would you say that's a new term, like within the last
It's probably a newer
decades?
term. Yeah, it's probably a newer term. It's a political term. It's not a term of the faith or anything.
Right.
But yeah, that's basically what it means. That represents like 20% or so.
You don't see me suggesting that we, go vacationing in like, Muslim countries.
Yeah, I mean, like,
ever.
if we went to Steve Shives and be like, hey, Steve, you want to come to us to fucking Qatar or something, man? You want to go to Saudi Arabia with us? Yeah, we figured, since you don't have no prejudice against Muslims or anything, we're going to take you we're going to pay for your ticket to Saudi Arabia, Steve. You go on down there, have yourself fun, do some sightseeing and shit.
Fuck that, just take him to Syria. He wants to go there.
Yeah, man.
That's like,
Send them anywhere.
It'll be an exciting
Go to
vacation.
Iraq. It's safe now. The Bush administration did a good job.
Yeah, they fixed everything.
Everything's good.
Yeah, I hear the atheist community, if you could call it that, criticizing Christian dominionism all the time, which I think is the Christian counterpart to Islamism.
Yes.
Right? I hear it all the time. The problem, Steve, is that there aren't a whole lot of Christians beheading fucking journalists and shit and uploading it to Instagram, okay? Like I said before, Islam gives us a whole lot more opportunity to critique its violence than Christendom does.
Yeah, not only that, but like you don't get this knee-jerk liberal reaction every time you fucking criticize Christianity. I mean, they're fine with it pretty much. You sit there and be like, I fucking shit in Jesus' face. They'll be like, yeah, freedom of speech, good job. But you're like, I shit in Muhammad's face. Like, well, you're disrespecting their culture. Oh my God, you're so racist. You're so Islamophobic. You're an anti-Muslim bigot.
They always run to racism. That's really they always say, like, oh, that's white people you're criticizing when you're criticizing Christianity, so that's fine. But if you criticize that, you're criticizing all these Muslims, all these brown people, you're racist.
Whatever. There's a lot of Christian black people that I've known.
Yeah, me too.
So I remember that was the big thing on.
So like, they're ridiculous.
Yeah.
Christian black people are Uncle Toms.
Isn't that Dusty?
That was Dusty.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he did say that.
Good old Dusty.
Doesn't change the fact that there's a lot of them.
There are. I know some very interesting black Christians, honestly, beyond G-Man even.
G-Man.
Beyond G-Man. I know a guy that's actually like more of a character than G-Man. That's like a black Christian guy. And
really?
Yeah.
Wow, get them together.
Maybe. I mean, he's not, but this guy's not like super Christian. He's not always talking about God and stuff. It's like very incidental to him.
He wouldn't be able to deal with G-Man then.
Yeah, he'd probably be sick of G-Man's shit in about 2 minutes. But maybe not.
sort of thinking is not only biased and inimical, worse yet,
what sort of thinking?
It serves the aims of extremists.
Okay. I think you serve the aims of extremists by fucking acting like Islamic extremism is not a big deal, and anyone who tries to point out that it is a big deal is somehow an anti-Muslim bigot. So I think you're the one that's enabling extremists, you fucking owned and bought and paid for fucking piece of shit. You know, at least you're gonna sell out to a corporation, a big corporation, for some fucking money. Don't sell out to some frigid bitch for her icebox of a pussy. You fucking goddamn twerp. Jesus.
Twerp.
He's so fucking twerp, dude.
Look at his face right
He is
now.
a twerp. Like an 80s movie villain now. He's a fucking twerp,
You're a
dude.
twerp.
You're a fucking... He's a twerp. Look at him. He really is.
Let's see.
Does it not fit?
And he acts like the people that point out the violence inherent in extremist Islam are somehow supporting the terrorists. Look at this. Yeah, us pointing out that Muslims behead people way more than Christians do. Muslims car bomb people way more than Christians do. Muslims blow up candy shops with bombs strapped to 10-year-old little boys way more than Christians do. We're actually helping the terrorists, by the way, by pointing those facts out.
Yeah, they love it. It's just free PR to them, man.
Yep.
Gangs of Islamist terrorists like Daesh, the so-called Islamic State, want Muslims to be singled out and alienated in secular societies. They want Islam in general to be defined according to their literal fundamentalist interpretation of the Quran and their barbaric, violently oppressive attitudes toward women, LGBTQ folk, and non-Muslims.
Okay, that's
they
not.
You know what?
Hold on. This is fucking. This. You act like it's just fucking. The Islamic State that has a problem with lesbians and women and shit. It's not. It's most Muslim countries, you fucktard. Like, where Islam is the establishment.
Right.
Like a good, not all those places, but a good solid chunk of those places are none too friendly to gays and women. Sorry. Not at all.
Sorry to inject a little dose of reality up your fucking spaghetti noodle thick ass, you fucking weird little straw man of a person.
There are some countries where like the laws are more harsh if you're Muslim, like in Indonesia and shit.
Indonesia.
Yeah.
Well, I don't support that either.
Yeah. Oh no, why would you? That's fucked up.
I don't support any fucking bullshit double standard.
Yeah, we're gonna publicly whip women who are raped for infidelity.
Honestly,
that's not Daesh doing that, Steve. That's not fucking IS doing that. Okay,
they're just following Sharia law.
Fucking,
Paul,
that's
their
a
religion.
Muslim nation.
There's
Paul, it's their culture. It's part of their religion. You can't criticize it.
In places like Saudi, in places like Saudi Arabia, like if we somehow went to visit there, there'd be like designated areas where we could drink, but if a Muslim drank, they'd go to jail.
You know what? Like I made a video I made a video a long time ago about people that are always talking about moderate Christians and shit. Where are the moderate Muslims? I'm not saying that there aren't any Muslims criticizing the extremism in their own religion, but where's the groundswell of Muslims talking about how like the Islamic State is an awful idea? Where's the Million Muslim March, Steve?
You know, here's what they're doing. Here's what the moderate Muslims do. The moderate Muslims don't take on the extremist Muslims. They take on us for pointing out the extremist Muslims. That's what they're doing. Yeah. That's how they're occupying their time. Because, of course, the biggest problem is not the people who share a faith with them who are committing acts of violence. The biggest problem is the other people pointing it out. That's
so it like just ignore it and maybe it'll go away. Is that what they're saying?
Like, what do you think would be more useful, Steve? Criticizing the people who are pointing out that Islam is growing out of control and fucking starting to behead people and shit and blow people up.
It's not starting.
Not starting. It has been for a very long time. Is it those people that are the problem, or is it the fucking people within the religion that are, instead of criticizing the people in their religion that are making them look like fucking retards, they're going after the people who are just pointing out the fact that Muslims are beheading people in mass? Do you think your time would be better spent, Steve, maybe calling out moderate Muslims and saying, "Hey, why don't we stop these people? Why don't we rise up?"
I don't think his master would like that.
convincing us that moderate Muslims are just Muslims who lack commitment. That the only truly authentic Muslims are these zealous and brutal jihadists.
It's the same thing. I mean, it's the same thing
There
with
are
Christians,
way
too.
too many.
What is?
Just like you said, Westboro Baptist Church is like the only true Christian church. You know,
Yeah,
it's the
true, I
same
can
thing with Muslims. You know, they actually have to follow the tenets of the Quran.
Yeah, the more literally they take their holy books, the more primitive and barbaric they're going to be. The books are primitive and barbaric.
Exactly. I mean, especially Islam, because it was like a army of barbarians. You know.
Well, yeah, Islam
was written for a warlord.
Yeah, Islam was written by a master of war. I mean, and exclusively editorialized through his perspective. It's not from a bunch of different authors like the Bible. It's not a compilation. I mean, some of these stories are older and he stole them, so it's compilation in that sense. But
come on, Ben. I'm a little fucking disappointed in Ben right now. I got to be honest with you, Ben. You just called Muslims barbarians.
Yeah, the original ones, all of them definitely were.
Wow. The views of Ben do not reflect the views.
They
of
certainly do not.
Podcast.
I cannot believe you said that, Ben.
Turning my back on Ben now.
White privilege, TJ.
Oh shit. Paul was so angry he left.
Wow. Fuck.
And he's calling back. I guess he forgives us.
No, I'm not letting him back in. Fuck that.
Fuck him. Barbarian.
Fucking Paul.
Arnold Schwarzenegger was a barbarian too, you know.
Conan. Hold on. I guess the call dropped.
It seems like it's having some trouble getting it back. Maybe there's some internet problems. I don't know. No, probably not. Because we don't seem to be losing our stream. Yeah, Steve Shives is a fucking joke, dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd necessarily put him in the crazy people segment, though. I don't know if he's, like, insane.
No, I mean, I skipped a bunch of videos.
Brett Keane is crazy, for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Steve Shives is crazy.
Steve Shives is just, like, the ultimate example of being pussy whipped to the point where his opinions no longer even make sense anymore.
I don't even know if that's true, but I just know that his I mean...
I'm declaring it to be true.
Okay.
No, I mean, just like, look at the evidence. Come on. I mean, it's true. I mean, we've seen how their interactions go. Like, you have to realize that living with a person who literally will sit there and criticize how problematic your collection of books and DVDs are. Like, imagine that just bearing down on your psyche all the time. I mean, you already see that he eats out of her hands when they're in videos together. I mean, it seems to me like this major shift in what his content is happened because of this girl that he's with. And, I mean, like, Sargon of Akkad has even put out a video making the case as strongly as it can be made. Obviously, it is speculative, but I don't know. I feel like that is the truth. He is the ultimate example of a pussy-whipped male. I won't go and use the cliche term cucked, because that just gets misused now. Cucked is only if he's, like, literally letting her fuck other guys, and even if he was a cuck, he would be enjoying it, so what the fuck does it matter? But yeah, he is pussy-whipped beyond belief, and that's why he sucks. Maybe we just need to get him a cooler chick, man. We need to get him a girl that actually is reasonable, so he'll parrot all her bullshit instead.
There's no redeeming a dude like Steve Shives. Once you've gone down the rabbit hole of allowing somebody, like, how does he back off of this? Like, when you've come out and just completely shifted your channel towards this really rabid SJW mindset at the same time that your girlfriend enters the picture, how do you step back from that and go, oh yeah, all the shit I've been talking, that wasn't really, like, he has to admit that he allowed somebody else to come in and change the content of his channel into something he didn't want it to be.
You overestimate people. All he has to do is gradually switch back and make it seem like, you know, the more I think about it, the more I realize all that shit was wrong.
Yeah, he's a midlife crisis waiting to happen.
I don't think Steve's channel will ever be what it was. I don't think it'll ever recover. Even if he does dump the frigid ice queen that is currently controlling his mind, I don't think that he'll ever be able to get back what he could have had. But yeah, people probably will just accept him. Some people.
He just kind of feel like a zombie to me. I just like look at him like, yeah, he's a zombie now. He's
dead inside, dude.
Yeah.
People who despise groups like Daesh, but who propel their narrative anyway, because they don't seem
you're
to
a fucking
realize
parrot.
that bigotry stated in an intellectual voice is still bigotry.
Wow.
And unacknowledged biases.
Why am I being
are
told this by a
biases all the
privileged white male?
The hardest part is only picking 5.
Cis
Catch you
white
next time.
male.
Look, Steve, I think you need to give your channel to a person of color.
Hey, folks, hope.
All right.
Do not become a patron of Steve Shives. Become a patron of us instead.
You know, there's a Wild Bill video where Wild Bill suggests that we end up acting like Americans start being like Charles Bronson from the Death Wish movies to take care of crime.
Yep. Sweet.
About fucking time. Vigilante justice. Yep. Fuck due process. Fuck the court system. Everybody just, if you see someone you think's a criminal, shoot them.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Death Wish 2016. Yeah, that sounds. That sounds like such an
Quite a
awesome
few years
initiative,
ago,
dude.
Charles Bronson made a movie about an American vigilante. I think it was called Death Wish. And it was so popular, they made a bunch of
Tired of
sequels.
crime.
Hello, everybody. Wild Bill for America here. In the movie, Bronson was a man living in a large city where the criminals were out of control and the citizens too scared to walk their own streets. Obviously, a Democrat-controlled city. Now, listening to news reports day after day of people being brutalized was just too much. So the man got a small revolver from his closet, dropped it in his pocket, and went out that night to take a walk. It wasn't long before the criminals spotted him and attacked. Boy, were they surprised when their victim peppered them with bullets. Bronson then ran back to his apartment, scared to death. When the news reports came out about the mysterious man who hit back at the criminals, the citizens cheered. Encouraged, Bronson went out several more times, never causing a problem, just minding his own business. But when criminals would attack him, he lit them up.
How do you manage to attract that many? Was he like waving like wads of money in front of him, like, yeah, any criminal that wants this, come get it?
He just went out for a walk, TJ. I mean, Bill probably goes out for walks all the time. How many criminals do you put down, Bill? Or are you just going to incite other people to pursue vigilante justice while you sit on your fat, pimply white ass, your big 10-gallon hat looking like a fat fucking slug? What a retard, man. Like, yeah, we need, and by we I mean you, need to go get your guns and go walk around black neighborhoods, and if a nigger walks up to you, you need to shoot him. I'm not going to do it, but you need to. Death Wish 2016.
Now suddenly, street crimes in that city dropped dramatically, and people began to find their courage to once again venture outside their doors. Of course, to the Democrats running that city, that was a terrible threat to their liberal policies, and the race was on to catch Bronson and put him in prison. Isn't that pretty much the situation we have today?
Okay, they weren't going after Bronson to put him in prison because they need to protect their liberal values and save the criminals of the city. They want to put him in prison because he's a vigilante and he has no oversight, and there's no real like he's not a trained fucking professional doing this. He's just a guy going out and killing people that he deems to be criminals, you know? Like, it's pretty cool in a comic book, but in real life, not too great.
Bill just said, isn't that the same situation that we have going on in America today? No, Bill. Unless you want to make the case that the prisons are chock full of white vigilantes. No, they're chock full of black and brown people who have committed minor marijuana offenses. That's not the situation that we have today.
Individual.
In Democrat-controlled cities, and now with Barack Obama deliberately flooding this nation with savages from the Middle East, the streets of America are more
flooding this nation, man. So like 10 million are coming now.
I think there was like, didn't we, like, I don't know what the final agreement was or whatever, but it was like 20,000 people or 80,000 or something like that. That's hardly flooding a country of 300 million people. It's like a drop in the bucket.
We're going to be flooded.
Drop in the bucket. But of course they're all rapists, so.
Dangerous than ever before, especially for women or Jews. Now, that is not what America is about. In this nation, citizens should be free to walk in any neighborhood without fearing.
You know, I love how he's all concerned for the Jews when, like, his stereotype 50 years ago would have been like, fuck the Jews.
They killed Jesus.
for their lives. I predict that freedom-loving Americans will not tolerate savages attacking like pack animals. I would not be a bit surprised to see some innovative citizen crime fighters use high-tech videos of Americans deliberately walking into the high-crime areas, minding their own business. And when the monsters attack, legally defending themselves and thus reducing the crime rate. A female walking.
Go show us how it's done, Bill.
When the subhuman hordes run at you.
Yeah, Bill, since it's
Blow
all
'em away.
Since this is all above board and legal and you're such a badass and shit, we want to see the video where you just go walk through the dangerous neighborhoods with the Muslim refugees, and when the monsters come to attack you, you waste them, and then it's like it's all in defense.
He lives in Florida. He acts like this dude's always packing, obviously.
Dude, ISIS is in Florida, man. You know, ISIS has a big presence in Florida, dude.
Dude, Wild Bill is what my dad always referred to as a people oughta hard ass. He's a hard ass, but he doesn't want to do it himself. He just thinks that people ought to rise up. People ought to take the law into their own hands. People ought to go get guns and walk into black neighborhoods and shoot anybody that looks at them. People ought to. You pussy, Bill.
And her dog.
If people ought to, why ain't you? Get out there and do it. You got a camera. Instead of setting it up on a tripod in your depressing backyard or some park somewhere, why don't you strap up and go to a black neighborhood?
Yeah, like he's already said like he wouldn't be surprised if it happened, and you know it's all self-defense and it's all legal. So you know you got a camera, you claim that you were once a lawman, you obviously think you're a hard ass, and you got a gun for sure. You got probably tons of guns. So why don't you go do it? Why don't you show us how it's done? Why don't you take the risk your fucking self? Put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your beliefs lie, bitch.
Isn't he kind of like I don't really care that he made this video, but isn't he kind of skirting legal lines and inciting people to violence and shit? Like people ought to go to high crime areas with guns and shoot people. Like what? Like
that'll solve the problem. If a bunch of gangsters getting shot, then it would solve the problem. Then they would be solved from them shooting each other. It obviously doesn't. You're a moron. Oops. Are we pimping shit?
Yeah, really quick before we go off the air.
Big pimping. You want to open a few of those boxes first?
No.
Gonna save it next time.
Because we've already been on for 2.5 hours. So.
Okay, cool.
All
right,
Dinor, you must have Dinor.
We got the original Dinor shirt, the fucking dark colored Dinor shirt, the Mem shirt. Remember when Canadian atheist Josh Banco was on the show? He said Mem. And
the official Drunken Peasant shirt.
We made a shirt of that.
TJ, support that clam.
Yeah, don't be handing me no pamphlets.
How many days? We got 6 days remaining on most of these.
Dude, Joshua Banco literally wrote out pamphlets as PAN hyphen
flits.
F, yeah, you've seen it too.
Pamphlets.
It's pretty crazy. Smoke Pan Every Day shirt of Drunken Peasants. That's our Drunken Peasants official shirt. We only sell 11. That's our official shirt. That's our official shit. You watch the show, bitch. Buy the shirt. Let people know that this show is legit. The TJ is Garbage shirt, the always popular TJ is Garbage shirt, owned by Jim Ass, property of Jim Ass, rather. Smoke Pan Every Day, Drunken Peasants official hoodie. We got the Ben shirt going on.
Ben is a commie.
Everyone likes that because it has, it looks kind of communistic.
And Ben is a commie.
Bernie Sanders coming out here now. He's a communist too. So we got a lot of commies around lately. You might want to rep the commies.
If you want to be like everybody else, buy that Dinor shirt. If you want to be the coolest kid in school, get that Ben. Get that Ben.
Yeah, I'm getting a slideshow of Dinor shirts ready.
Sweet.
So when you have a Dinor shirt, you can send it to us on Facebook. And
you could be in our slideshow,
yes.
Man. Slideshow.
All right, good night.
That's it.
Good night, everybody. Love you all. Bye.
I hate you all. You're all shit. You're all fucking garbage. I'm not garbage. Everyone else is garbage.
Do drugs, TJ.
I want to.